Unless, of course, you take the black and white ones, which makes that problem relatively easy.
Only because they sorted out already.
Granted, although with so many of them, it would still be better odds than the kinds there's only a single set of 4.
There's some 20-sider here I gotta get rid of. So all I did was roll 3s.
That's obviously
Kind of the North volunteers got 20-siders where all the numbers were 20.
such a pity you couldn't actually use it.
Well, as a special thing, they had a little card where they were allowed to roll that die once in every game.
At Con of the North.
At Con of the North.
What do I have? 20/20s on it?
Yes,
Oh, okay. Even you couldn't get a 1 on that one.
but it'd probably end up cocked.
Yeah. Hey, let's redo it. I didn't really ones, but I sure lowered a lot of 3s.
Well, no, actually, his thing is he probably didn't end up the way his luck goes. He'd end up playing a bunch of games that didn't use 20-siders.
Yeah. Well,
No, the games I played all used 20-siders.
Okay.
And the games I GM'd all used 20-siders. So.
well,
However, they don't count prepping to GM the society games as volunteering, so I wasn't eligible for one of the dice.
Okay.
You had to actually be on one of the other positions other than GMing. I guess they figured the discount on the badge is enough reward for your time prepping to GM.
because they haven't done those dice for sale.
I don't know. I wouldn't want one because I'd be afraid it'd get mixed in with the regular ones. And I won't use the 20-sider they gave, the real 20-sider they gave out because it's hard to read.
It sure is. Unless you get a 20.
You've seen it?
I haven't.
Okay.
I was there.
I didn't see you there. I'm
You did.
sorry. Did I?
Yeah, I introduced myself, man, that's Saturday. I came by and asked if you were GMing or playing. You said playing.
Oh, okay. I already lost track of that, sorry.
Oh.
The lack of sleep is a significant portion of that. I shared a room with someone who snored very loudly. I had underestimated just how loudly somebody could snore. Loudly and irregularly. So you couldn't even get used to the pattern it was very.
I gave up a free steak dinner to be here, right? So.
Okay. So
On the other hand, you're having somewhere.
Yeah, it's just so much better.
I
free
hope
steak.
you don't consider it a mistake. Let's see. Saturday night I would have been playing at Lance's table, Infernal Gallery. Starfinder.
Well, I saw you when you were in the Pathfinder area.
Yep. All of the Pathfinders and Starfinder games were in the same room. Or I should say set of rooms, since they basically opened up the whole area.
Well, everyone got mad at me because I wasn't a member of the society.
Matt, I doubt that. They may have been puzzled and tried to help, but I doubt they got angry.
You really should go get a number so you can fill out this form.
Ah, yes. They were trying to help. They may have come off as only trying, but they were trying to help. They would have gladly seated you somewhere.
Well, I played my game. Rolled my 3s.
Cool.
Right at the end, the big bad monster, I didn't hit it once. Three. Really? I couldn't hit the ground.
Those are embarrassing sort of afternoons, evenings, late nights, mornings.
I had my fun, especially Sunday night. We had various skill checks and such we were supposed to do, including the one where we were supposed to take the bell off the caribou's horns. Or antlers, I should say. So the standard solution is either use knowledge of nature and animals in order to convince the animal to eat from your hand so that you can then reach up and get the bell.
Mario, please.
Or to sneak up on it and untie the bell. I was playing a goblin alchemist. So my solution was to throw a tanglefoot bag, entangling the animal, causing a stampede that I then dodged, and then going up to the stuck animal and taking the bell.
Every time I threw a tanglefoot as an alchemist, I missed. Every single time. I should say they didn't get hit.
Can be difficult, especially if you roll poorly.
Let's see how this is
I didn't roll for it.
since I dropped it.
Nothing
Alright.
explosive.
You didn't drop it enough to completely knock it out.
So, we're still at Uluru, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You gotten distracted by a very unexpected door.
An unexpected door?
Well,
That
a door
sounds
with
strange.
unexpected properties.
Oh, a door with unexpected properties is slightly different. Okay.
We convinced Andy to come down from the Zeppelin to investigate.
Uh-huh. And this is where I said, gee, that's an unusual atomic weight or whatever.
Yes,
Atomic number,
184. That's not
An
normal.
unusual proton number.
Atomic number in standard terms is mostly. Sorry.
Something to ask Sluggo about.
White probably knows something and might possibly say.
Oh, yes.
Because yes, there's a reasonable chance that vault door is older than the human race.
Yeah, I think interesting covers that.
Periodic table of elements. Come on,
And
give
it's
me
still
one
the 1st of March.
What I would like to do is put a trap here.
Yes.
Sal comes here. That catches him.
Okay.
180, huh?
And being me,
184.
I'm thinking explosive.
So how do we make it
That's-
Sal specific and not go off if just anybody goes
That-
by?
That is a very high number.
Yes, it is a very high number.
Yes. Yes, it is. That is what Annie said, as a matter of fact.
I wanted to double check because I thought it was a very high number.
Very high number, yes.
But, you know, the chart has been filled out more since I was in.
Yes.
I'm not going 184.
118.
Not that high, but still, I wanted to see.
Huh. That's exactly twice as much as uranium. I wonder if it was generated by uranium fusion. Not that I can figure out how to do that, but it's an interesting
Let's see.
possibility.
Yes. Uranium is not an element that wants to fuse.
That it is not.
Yeah, that's a very heavy door.
No, it's probably just
And-
not.
It's only a
Small
trace
amount
element
of
of 184. It's
184.
steel
With
But it's a
traces
very
of-
odd
with
alloy.
traces of element
of
184. It is not a solid door of element 184.
Which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, people went, okay, this is steel, but there's something weird about it. Well, for one thing, it's got low-level radioactivity above background radiation.
Yeah.
But the other thing, it was acting very strangely in a chemical sense.
Well, you should make a ring out of it.
First I would want to determine what the alloy's properties are, because,
Lex Luthor did that with kryptonite.
If
yes,
one of the
but
properties
Lex
is it makes
Luthor wasn't
human
known
body parts
for
fall off.
being overly concerned about his
Yeah, don't
own
make a ring out of something
long-term
like that.
health.
He also had to have his hand cut off. Keep the cancer from killing him. From the ring.
I show exactly 36 fate points. Is that what what you got?
You,
Oh, right.
you, and you.
Okay. Yes, I should have remembered that. It's
Huh?
been a busy week.
All have 36 feet. All three of them have
Three
36.
amigos.
I thought I had like
Three amigos.
42 or
Had to
something.
be.
You had 39, but you spent 3.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then, did you open the door to find the odd staff?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
just checking. Apparently, I was in the bathroom at the time.
The odd staff as opposed to the even staff?
There's only one, so
It's also
It's in
painted
the-
in ways that might make sense to Aboriginal shaman, but are kind
Not
of
to someone who studied in ancient Minoan or in Tibetan.
if I come across any reference to any of these symbols in the library at
You don't recall.
Library of Alexandria, I think I might have at least been asked to make an academic's roll to see if I remember.
Yeah, as near as we could tell. Okay, as near as Simon could tell. If you know about that staff and have had a chance to study it,
Uh-huh.
to learn it, it could probably serve as a beacon in the Crystal Cave.
Increasing your chances of getting to that doorway from some small fraction of 1% to maybe 100 times as likely.
I'm thinking that we don't make the traps specific. What we have to do is we have to go and attack Sal and then come back and take it out. If we leave it there too long, somebody might actually mumble their way in here.
No, I mean, there's not been a lot of traffic, but yes, it's not a zero amount of traffic.
If those of us that have studied the floor, looking for how many people have been here, how recently, think that nobody's gone in or out after Sal left and before we got here.
So Sal is not on the premises?
Here? No,
No.
but he came out of the Crystal
Mhm.
Caves here. Pretty sure.
So he expects to return via Crystal Caves?
Now,
Maybe. At least he certainly might use it as an escape if he were otherwise cornered.
The problem
I think he would use it as an escape of last resort.
the problem with stable beacons is once somebody knows that they're there, they can come up with a signal that causes you to be misdirected. To use a simple case of a compass using magnetic north, all you need is something that deflects the compass needle.
I didn't know the magnet.
There's
Okay.
many
I'm
ways
sure
to do it,
something
but
I'm sure something like that could be done. I'm not sure anyone would have bothered.
Okay, how do we do this? We take one of the noise cameras,
Mm-hmm.
we hook it up to the trigger, and if we know what Sal looks like, we can program it so that when it sees that image, that face, it goes boom.
Possible. Might be easier to relay the picture to relay the picture, and if you know whoever's got the trigger says, "Yep, that's him," push the button.
I have not made a thinking machine in the past, and that is very close to requiring a thinking machine.
I'm gonna go with your idea, Eddie. You have a
So-
camera with a radio, transmits an image. We see Sal running for the crystal cave.
Yeah,
Click.
a proximity sensor that isn't particular and provides a image is much more practical, along with a remote detonation. I need a little bit more catching up. However, we found that it was the radios were just to get him the information sooner.
Mm-hmm.
And
least
we
that's
believe that his
reasonable.
base is in Alice Springs, and we have gone to Alice Springs.
Not
So-
yet.
Nope.
We've gone to the Australian outback. We're
You've
at
gone
least
to the
100
outback.
miles from Alice Springs, I think.
So we're in the deserts of Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Hard spot of the world.
Yeah.
Armpit
In
of
the
world.
middle of their summer, approximately.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
So if you were feeling far too cold, now
No,
you're
I'm
not.
not, because it'll get well over 100 degrees during the day.
Yeah, the heat is on.
Okay. Well, the good news is that there is very low population density out here.
Oh yeah.
The bad news is they generally don't have much in the way of distortions in the sky either.
That's why we were thinking of leaving Cloud 9 over the horizon and seeing what the defenses and traps are at ground level, where we may have a chance to look at them before they go off.
Given past experience, I think that if we're alert for traps, there's a good chance we would find.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
We, being other members of the party, have shown their capability.
But
Since that isn't one of my best skills.
okay, if I take one fragment. Yeah.
I can do instrument readings to try and find what you guys just naturally told me, but other than that,
We were concerned,
Hello.
especially Jack was concerned, but I can relate about
Okay.
Love you.
going in Cloud 9 and sailing through some passive detection perimeter or sneaky low-level active detection perimeter and not even noticing. So
Yep.
that whoever that Sal and
It-
minions have all the element of surprise and we have none.
I have made it difficult to spot it, but it can be spotted.
Yeah, it's not impossible. It's just very different.
Is it radar proof?
Well, Annie would say it would depend. No one's figured out a way to use radar for detection yet that has been published.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yes,
When you listen to
worded that very strangely.
Very precisely, as a matter of fact.
Very cautiously, yes.
when you listen to Baxter Beach as much as I got stuck to during the Great War.
He was probably using sound waves. He's
Oh,
underwater and it works better.
We are in a way for defending against aircraft,
Ah,
which is a crazy idea.
well,
A noticeable fraction of his crazy ideas work.
So we're going to build a trap. Is that what we're doing? Have we decided we're doing that, or are we just still thinking about doing it?
I would like to put a trap here because if he runs away, which guess what? You sure he has
Well,
demonstrated
this
trap.
is a long way to run.
Where is the store?
Okay.
A
It's-
ways inside Uluru.
So
Okay.
Uluru is a giant rock.
Yep.
There's a crevice.
As a matter of fact,
I showed it to people.
Ayers Rock.
And if you go down in the crevice far enough, there's like a tunnel.
Uh-huh.
There's one room and then another tunnel off from there, and there's a big wooden door.
Okay.
And then
Mystery
past
stuff
that,
on
yeah,
it. Knows you really don't want to open this
A
door.
door made of a very strange yellow.
yeah, it's basically like a vault door. It's huge and very thick. And from analyzing how it's set into the rock, people said, well, it's got to have been here for like millions of years. From the wear patterns,
Yeah.
it just looks like it's been here a really long time.
The problem with carbon dating, or one of those methods, is the trace elements are outside the bounds of what we know the numbers for.
Mm-hmm.
Well, none of the rest of us knew enough to use the radioactivity to try and date it. We were going by other.
Well, plus you have no idea what the half-life of element
Exactly.
184 is.
That's
That's the first problem.
But it must be fairly long if this door has been here for 3 million years, and there's still a noticeable amount of element 184.
Well, we have an upper bounds on how long the door has been.
Age of Earth.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, it has definitely been here
Less
than
than the time
after the crust had formed on the
yes,
Earth.
less than the time that the crust formed. Whether it was during the time of Pangea when there was a single continent, we can't say right
No.
now.
You don't know.
There have been several times. There was Pangea,
Uh-huh.
there was Gondwana land, and there was Rodina.
You know, your character would not be saying this.
That's true, I would not.
Because plate tectonics does not exist.
Well,
It hasn't been discovered.
it hasn't been, the discovery of it has not been announced.
Not for another 25, 30 years.
Thereabouts.
Yes.
Which is why one of my favorite T-shirts is "Reunite Gondwana land."
However, Professor Tembler knew about
No
plate
doubt.
tectonics,
Yeah.
but he was a mad scientist. So
He was an annoying man. He's not much nicer one, relatively
well,
speaking.
yes, he was an evil mad scientist.
Even as the evil ones go, he was annoying.
Yeah, I mean,
There are worse properties than annoying.
well, he was going to cause the Yellowstone supervolcano to erupt. That was his first plan.
I'm glad that failed.
And then he was going to pull the moon.
No.
No, who was that?
Different guy.
Yamamoto.
Yeah, that was
Yamamoto, right?
Yamamoto. That was a different guy.
He had a plan that he would pull the moon from its orbit and make a giant tsunami that would wipe out all life on Earth except Japan.
Except Japan, yeah.
I
Is that-
really-
That would be a neat trick.
That would be a really neat
I really
trick.
doubt
Is
that
that
his
the one that did
calculations were as good as he thought they were.
Is that the guy that was doing the standing waves, or is that a different person?
I believe that's the guy that was doing the standing waves.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, he probably wouldn't like me anymore.
So, we need to make a decision what we're doing.
I'm taking notes on this element and wishing I had a full lab to work it up
Well,
with.
you haven't really got much beyond the atomic number and the fact that it's a metallic element.
Yep.
And yes, you don't have your lab here.
I like the idea of stopping Sal if he comes this way. I have no problem with, stopping him fatally and we can, identify the remains later. I don't like the idea of something that goes off if anybody comes this way indiscriminately. Even though
I mean,
there
a
isn't much
regular
traffic.
like engineering sort of trap has a hard time differentiating between
Yeah.
individuals.
Yeah. Which,
So is there a key or anything of the sort, or how is this vault door
You
appear
just-
to open?
There's a big
Turn
wheel on it. You turn it to
through the
unlock it, and you pull it open.
So
It slowly closes itself, and the wheel slowly counter rotates.
so it isn't locked in a way that prevents people from opening it. It's
No.
locked in a way that seals rather than
Yes.
Right.
Um,
Apparently, whoever put that in place seems to feel that there might be things coming from the other side.
that require extreme measures.
Well, that are not intelligent enough. I assume that there's an equivalent wheel on the other side.
yes.
That are not intelligent enough to turn the wheel to get out.
Well,
But-
you guys know of at least one type of creature that's like that.
Yeah.
or they might have been worried about exchange with other atmospheres or something.
That
like
is something you know that the crystal caves can go to other planets.
Mm-hmm.
So the silly question is, have we already opened this?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You opened it, looked, and saw, hey, it's the crystal cave.
Okay,
But
then
about, what was it? About 16 feet, 10 feet in, something like that.
Okay, why don't we just,
There was this
8 feet.
8 feet in.
Why don't we
It
just
looks
come
like
all the
8
way
feet in. There's a staff, a big wooden staff stuck into a crack in the crystals, and it's got certain geometric designs on
and
it.
this is what they're calling the beacon.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It has a mysteries element to it. Simon detected that fact, which was very difficult for him through into the crystal caves. He got mildly nauseous.
Mm-hmm.
And I took his word for it. I don't think my spirit companion would want to venture very far from me in here.
No.
Right.
Yeah,
In
and
jail
it's
or
far
something
enough
like that.
in
why?
that there's some question about
Why? What's wrong with it?
how far it is in,
Well,
given the known capabilities of the crystal cave.
that's the thing. He can under anything remotely resembling ordinary circumstances, he can always find his way back to me, no problem. But he has encountered
We're
conditions
not-
that are
In ordinary conditions.
no. That's exactly.
Okay.
We're gonna seal the entrance in. Full of rubble.
We could do that.
That way,
And
and pull
clear
the rubble
out
up and
later.
done.
That's easy.
I mean, put
Yep.
a big wall in front of the crystal cave entrance.
Okay.
Well, could you folks run grab something out of my kit for me?
Back at Cloud 9.
Uh-huh. I didn't pack my rubber grenades.
How many of those do you have left?
I think 3. Maybe 5.
I forget how much quantity
say on
of
your
rubble
sheet?
one
Yes.
produces.
I mean, I'm so for having a camera here with an alarm and a bomb. And if it goes off, we look at the camera, and the camera says we see Sal
3.
running for the door, crystal cave entrance, we just push the button.
It seems workable to me. I mean, there's the
Yeah,
risk it
that's
could be
workable.
jammed,
Mhm.
but other than that,
We just need to invent television. Oh no, we don't need to invent
No,
television.
Denoy already
Yeah,
did
we-
that.
Denoy already did
we
that.
got cameras that'll transmit a
Very small
picture
cameras,
via
as a matter of
radio
fact,
signal.
yes.
It's quite clever.
Though you'd have to upgrade them. They don't. I mean, you're
They
going
don't
hundreds
stretch-
of miles away. They don't
Yeah.
transmit that far.
They're meant to stretch about 2-3 city blocks, as I recall.
Yeah. And well, right now you're underneath a bunch of rock, so that would even
And
be
that
reduced.
doesn't really work very well.
What do we have here? What do we have here?
I don't
Okay.
want to spend a lot of time here, okay?
Mm,
I mean, I want to go after
Well-
Sal.
we could put pretty much all the equipment we want to between the wooden door and the vault door.
Mhm.
Yes, you're right.
No, he's not.
As long as we have whatever it is we're triggering, a ways up the cave from the wooden door.
Yeah, no disagreement. It's just that. It sounds like
It'd be a
maybe-
pity to do that and not have a sample of this metal.
we can always
Well, you
come back.
already took a scratch sample,
Okay.
enough to get a couple of pieces of information about it.
Say, we
But
can
yeah, you don't really. I mean, you know that you need a lot more than just a scratch sample to use in your lab to figure out all the properties that you want to figure out.
How much do you need?
So who are we concerned with getting in here besides Sal?
No one in particular that I know of. We just don't
The
know
only, yeah, the
who
only
craft
two
that
people
works
that
on
you know of who
innocent
escaped from
bystanders.
Sal's house were Big Tony and Fat Sal, and Big Tony is dead. All of his lieutenants that were with him in his house are dead.
Yeah, but it's pretty easy to get new lieutenants.
Well, because
We're
they're
kind
stunts
of a
in a game sense. Yes, it is
Yeah.
incredibly easy. You basically,
They have a
they
service.
get
for that.
regenerated.
No, they have a service for
And
that. You
internal-
go and ask for replacement
Yes,
lieutenants.
of course.
They keep your needs on file. You know.
Yeah.
all your former lieutenants had, brothers. You just started out.
Oh, is that how that works?
That doesn't work so well because usually the families spread the word, and although they may volunteer certain other family members,
Yeah, it's the ones they don't like.
yeah.
Well, yes, and it's entirely possible that he had replacement lieutenants waiting here for him.
Mhm.
I am going to ask one other question that you probably won't want to answer.
Okay.
How many people would get upset and become enemies if we interfere too much with this store?
You do not know.
Unknown quantity.
Because
If
you
we did
guys have
something-
used these crystal caves
Yes.
for transit.
Yes.
I presume that there are others who have done so,
Mhm.
and not
You
all
have
of,
evidence that this is true.
not all of those are currently our enemies, and I don't like going and causing new enemies.
Yes.
I wouldn't be in favor of leaving it blocked permanently, and that's exactly why I said I don't want to blow up anyone who goes by. It might
Yeah.
be an innocent bystander with bad timing.
Then let's just bury it.
Yeah. I mean, let's just.
That does seem like a quick
With-
and easy
with rubble?
solution.
Yeah.
Somebody
we'll
want to
go
somebody want to go grab one of my rubble things of rubble explosive
Where did you leave it?
in
your
my room,
trunk?
Yeah.
in my trunk.
Yeah.
I tell you where.
Your trunk is not trapped in any way?
No,
Okay.
Why not?
Because Simon
He's not
reserves his
paranoid? I don't
paranoia
know.
for other things.
It's security conscious. It's not paranoia. I'm not paranoid. I'm just security conscious.
because the trunk that it's in is the mundane stuff.
Oh, it's not in the important trunk.
Right.
Well,
It still has explosives in it. I
You
mean,
can go to the hardware store and get
not
explosives.
like he's got.
Yeah, but
Well, you were
no.
being specific.
Not that makes like the equivalent of I remember serving correctly. It ended up being about 10 feet by a cylinder about 10 feet by 30 feet.
So,
yes, that's correct.
That's still not enough to kill Lucifer.
It was. It's not in.
It's not intended to
It was
kill.
never intended to be part of that.
Now, if you got 100 of those, that might be enough.
actually, if you got him off above him.
I was thinking of like
And
totally surrounded them.
Okay, so you head back up to your dirigible.
Yeah, I'm in favor of going back to the airship.
You go to where Simon has told you.
Pick up his ring, go to the shop, pick up what I will need to get a proper sample of the door.
Okay.
Since I'm there.
Yes, I mean it's not
And-
impossible to get a sample off this door. It's not like impervious to tools or whatever.
Realizing the way things are going, I might as well take one of the bricks of sea and a couple of dead.
Okay. That takes not very much time at all.
Time, and then we're ready to
You know
come
where
back.
all that is.
Yep.
You were told where the grenades are. So
Yep.
you come back and
Hand him his
Well,
objects.
actually, it looks an awful lot like C.
It does. I am aware
But
of that.
mostly
You-
it
you-
has
you
really
had
weird
me
things like
determined
semi-precious
that,
stones
I
and
could not work with
feathers.
them.
You know,
They would not give me the same results reliably.
yes.
There are more things in heaven and earth, Annie, than are dreamt of in your philosophy.
Science is a good philosophy. It's a way of faith.
It's a love of knowledge. Philosophy.
Annie might feel that way. But any historian of science will tell you that it is based on philosophical principles.
And we should call
Historians of
scientists
science
natural
and scientists
philosophers.
don't always get along.
No, they don't.
I think they only started using the word scientist around 1840. 1820.
Right.
Was it
Jonathan-
natural philosopher before?
It
that?
was natural philosophy.
Yes.
I was going to say, Jonathan Adams claims that all branches of science started out as natural philosophy.
I think they do.
Physics claims that all science is physics.
Mathematicians say it's all numbers.
Yes.
Well, they must be happy with
The
modern
accountants
world.
agree with them.
Which just proves that it can't be.
That's a cogent argument, actually.
Well,
In any case,
So we'll dump a
I
shit
will
ton of
I will give Simon
rubble
his
in this
items, go to the door, collect up a proper sample, put it in the sample case.
Okie
I
dokie.
have my priorities after all.
Oh, yes.
a larger surface scraping.
Yes.
Yes.
I think cutting the edge so it doesn't fit the frame
Would
properly
be
would be
bad.
a bad idea.
So would drilling through it
Mhm.
for a core sample.
Yeah, you're getting a scrape off the surface.
want more and break a chunk off.
That may be a bad idea.
My hunch would be
I am trying to not functionally affect the engineering.
So it'd be a big chunk.
I am trying not to weaken it or otherwise interfere with its operation, just to sample, please. So,
I can do that.
are we going to use your rubble to block the obvious way in? That's the plan?
1834. I was right.
I say we just put a pile of rubble right in front of the Crystal Cave entrance.
Mhm.
Right where it is.
Yeah.
So,
I
You
think-
mean between the wooden door and the vault?
I think
Yeah.
he means between the wooden door and the outside, but I'm not
Well,
certain.
no.
No, that's not what he meant.
No.
But
Oh.
either way would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Either way is going to majorly slow down anybody who's trying to get in.
The problem is you obviously don't mean on that side of the vault because there's about that far between that side of the vault and the beginning of the crystal caves.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't
He
want it on
doesn't
the
mean it.
inside.
You don't want to
side.
flood the crystal caves with a lot of rubble.
Yeah,
especially not rubble that is that rubble.
It might interact poorly.
It might interact interestingly.
Yeah, but
Okay.
interesting every time you enter the crystal caves for the rest
I got
of
the
your
bad
life,
timing.
a piece of rock
Uh-oh.
comes flying straight at you.
Yeah.
Having a problem with rubble, you just get Barney.
No.
In the future, that'll be a bad joke.
That's a
I think you
lovely
actually want
thought.
Betty.
Nobody's come up with the Flintstones yet.
Well, first you have to come up with the honeymooners so they can copy them.
Mm.
That's what Hanna-Barbera did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Huckleberry Hound was Andy Griffith. The Impossibles were the Beatles. I think Snagglepuss was Liberace.
Not sure.
Really?
Certainly a very fey stage personality of some sort. Used to be able to do the exit stage left in the right voice, but out of practice.
Okay, so as I understand it, we put rubble in the way.
Yep.
Yes.
But
Are we also putting a trap in there? So
No.
okay, just the rubble,
just
slow
the
him
rubble.
down.
Do you want a detector to detect when someone
No.
or thing comes through or goes through?
No need.
Okay.
If he hits
So,
here,
did we need to use more than one charge?
if he's able to teleport here, we can follow. If he's traveling on
If
foot,
he's
we
able
can
to-
follow.
Travel in the way that Jack does, he can just get past it. So
Doubt you can.
I wouldn't want to teleport into a crystal cave.
Yeah.
I wasn't intending that.
No, probably
Uh,
not. But no, yes, he'd be able to get past us, but we would have a pretty good guess where he was going. Unless he's got like an airfield somewhere, another
The
planet.
desert is
handy.
flat. The whole
That's true.
desert
You
is
can
an
land a small
airfield.
plane
Yes.
wherever
Yes,
you
but
like.
one
It's
has
not
to
really-
designate it, otherwise you're just landing randomly.
All you have to do is watch out for the molehills.
Watch out for the
Molehills.
right.
The bigger wheels will cover a number of sins.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've walked the tunnel and
Now I guess
Did you
we-
mark off your grenade?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Now I suppose we head towards the encampment where you said you believe Big Sal is no longer there. I assume you have a reason for this belief.
Didn't say he wasn't there.
Oh, okay, I
Yeah.
misunderstood the
Yeah.
situation.
I'm just afraid that he is going to do what everybody
What is going on over
trying to
there?
grab something.
Okay.
Something has escaped him and he's trying to recapture it.
Okay.
presumably something inanimate rather than animate.
Yeah, hopefully not like a rat or something.
No.
That would
Well,
get the
it'll-
dogs very excited.
It doesn't take much to get these dogs excited.
Yeah.
There
No,
is
it doesn't.
that.
Very true.
So
Okay.
no, he's probably there. Just we just don't know the
I
layout.
kind of hope he is. If he is there, it'll make it easier to put him out of our misery.
I'll be really annoyed if we get to Alice Springs and discover that he's got a telegrapher there who's sending it to Adelaide.
Or anywhere else.
Or New York City. That'd be a
Or
great
New
one.
York City, yes.
Yes, there's a radio relay there, and
Yes, it's 2 blocks away from the Century Club.
if he was living in New York City, you guys would probably figure it out a lot faster than.
Yeah.
Oh, then he's
But yes, he could be somewhere else in the United States.
okay, then he's in Hoboken.
Somewhere else in the world.
Yeah. I mean that's the other country, right?
Yes.
Jersey.
Yes, obviously.
But we're actually hoping he's here
So
and not expecting us this early.
I really don't want to do this aerial reconnaissance. I need to set off. I just sneak in,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not going to spot me. You can tell me when they won't spot you.
Does stealth work against all the electronic detection methods if you're good enough? I forget that detail.
No.
Well, if I step on a trip wire, it goes off.
Yeah.
Step on a pressure plate, it goes off.
Mhm.
Um,
What about interrupting beams and such like?
I can go around the beam.
Yeah, but you can also step over tripwires.
Mhm.
You just need to be careful and look for the traps.
All right. Well, let's
Let me go at night. I've got goggles on.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have mine on too, because I have this feeling that without them, the surprise would be unpleasant.
even with them, the surprise may be unpleasant, but yes.
I mean, if we're going with the vampires, we're going at high noon, but
To our knowledge, we did not contract that.
Well, and you know, if the heat gets too much for us, we can create a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Well,
feel
yes.
lucky enough to do
You've got
so.
those devices,
Uh,
and they haven't reset.
and remember, if we go at night, it won't be nearly as hot.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I was thinking.
Yeah, that's what-
that does have disadvantages.
Okay, that's it.
Enough of the good and bloodies.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of a gaming story. Somebody had a rune of window. Rune of window.
okay.
They entered the High Vampire's castle while the High Vampire was out. They did this at night.
Mm-hmm.
And proceeded to mark every single wall in the castle with Rune of Window multiple times.
And set it off
Including-
around noon.
Including the vampire's coffin.
Mm-hmm. Figured.
Well, wasn't really a set it off. It
Right.
just started working.
Yeah.
Once they put it in place. It's just that the vampire got home and got into the big high vampire and his minions got home and got into their coffins.
Mm-hmm.
And about the time they discovered it was too late, it was too late. Or about the time they discovered what had been done, it was too late. If memory serves me correctly, it was Mark Mendel that did that.
Oh, I mean, our best reconnaissance guy is your dead guy. I mean,
Need to be cautious about that
No.
since he obviously has employed mysteries people, but
here's what we do. We go a perimeter around it. And the mystery guys to try to detect anything.
Yep.
And if you don't get anything really solid, then the mysteries aspect is less. And you need to maybe send the dead guy in with us, just ahead of us.
Yep.
All the time.
Yep. That'll be interesting turnabout. Here's the years ago, he more than once sent me ahead to scout because my mysteries is better than his.
Mhm.
Situations where he was pretty sure nothing bad would happen to me, but training.
How far do we want to walk?
I thought you said 20 miles.
Okay. Nothing for me.
Good hours walk.
20 miles. Typical.
No, sorry. Typical day's walk is
Yes, it's a day's walk.
Running on foot with no obstructions, you're going to get about 4 miles an hour.
You
That's-
can't run 20 miles. Well,
Actually,
You guys can.
We
We
could,
can, we
yes.
Everybody in the group has endurance at least good, right?
Yeah.
Nobody has
That's
endurance
exactly.
lower than good. In fact, probably everybody has endurance at good.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, as long as you don't roll a -4,
Mm-hmm.
that's great.
Mine
Always roll
was
0.
precisely.
You should be fine. I mean, we can move in, we don't have to worry about sitting off the. We don't have to walk without rhythm.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
You're not worried about sandworms. And there's you don't have to worry about like swampy areas. Because you get really slow in swampy areas.
Well,
Um,
yes.
And there's no mountains right here.
No
So,
glaciers to go over.
yeah, there's nothing that's going to slow you down a lot.
Just, pay enough of
So I just say you
attention
just
to
run.
not step on anything reptilian or arthropod.
Well, if you're going. Besides, if there's some animal stupid enough to attack us,
There are animals that, when startled, will automatically attack and have no intellect. So I would say there are the possibility. And Australia is well known for its wealth of poisonous creatures.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, and he was naively thinking he could worry less about poisonous snakes in Egypt, and Rick, spoiled his afternoon.
You're from here, right, Rick?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
not from the middle of nowhere.
From
but
from the continent, I should say.
yeah, I'm from down around Tubapiti, but yeah.
come here often.
Spent some summers in the neighborhood. What am I looking for? Oh, yes.
So I just say we just help it. Sure. Just move.
All right.
I
Well,
suppose.
You wanna
step
keep-
one is to fly the dirigible back towards Alice Springs.
The reason we picked 20 miles is that's about when the curvature of the earth kicks. So
Yeah.
we're going to be beyond the curve.
That is just barely beyond the curvature. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, there's no need for any rolls. You're really not going that far. If I remember correctly, it's about 200 miles between Uluru and Alice Springs.
Mm-hmm.
150?
Yes.
Okay.
I check around in the airship and I discover I've got a set of bicycles if you'll allow it.
A set.
A set.
Sure.
Bicycles?
Bicycles.
Oh, yeah.
BICYCLES.
Yeah. We're cool.
This should make it a trip a
Did
little.
you happen to invent wider tires with special texturing or something so they work
Honestly,
reasonably well in
this-
desert?
From this point, the bikes were all pretty wide. tires.
Okay. Yeah.
Skinny wheels came much later.
Okay. History of bicycles, not my strong
And I'll pick up a parasol for myself because, well, desert heat and all.
suit. Good plan.
And there's a north-south road that goes through Alice Springs. And
We don't want to be in the road.
there are
Oh, don't worry. The road runs from Adelaide to Darwin. We're nowhere near it.
freaking parallel road.
If we're coming from Uluru, we're nowhere near it.
Yeah.
We'll cross it. We won't actually parallel it. Whipsnake, the mulga, the guadar, five-ring brown, death adder,
Remember
Curl
hearing about
snake.
that one. Mhm.
the inland taipan, all are venomous.
So is
Yeah.
the platypus.
Whee!
Yes, that was mentioned.
It
too.
makes the documentation so much simpler. All are venomous.
So Australia doesn't have non-venomous snakes unless someone imported some as pets.
That's
Okay.
exactly
That's
right.
basically it.
That does actually simplify matters.
It's a snake. It's venomous.
How do you know? We're in Australia.
It's just a crocodile. And that goes in India.
So,
And that's in Africa.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't take very long to get there. Are we waiting for nightfall?
Yes.
Are we going to be riding our bicycles?
No.
I'm going to suggest it. It'll take much less time to get there. We can leave the bikes, say, a mile out.
I'm not sure. It'd be tricky for me to stop everybody on nice bicycles. I guess I could.
I mean, you can ride in a pack.
I guess we have to ride in the pack with Jack in the center.
Seems workable.
If you insist, I will walk it, but
Getting there faster has its point.
Yes. All right. So, everybody make an athletics roll. You don't want to roll poor or below that. If you can't roll poor or below that, I guess you don't have to make the roll. But
so
Right?
hey, all right.
superb is acceptable.
Yes, it's acceptable.
Great.
All right. Wow. Nobody like veers off and gets out of the hush. Oh, and you need to roll your stealth since you're hushing everyone.
I was hoping to knock us all over down.
What was Simon's? I did.
There's no way he could fail.
There was no way I could fail.
Yeah.
The lowest I could roll would be good.
So
Therefore, I did not
odds
have to
are
roll.
higher than that. Yeah.
Yes. No, a tattoo.
I like plus 2.
Okie dokie. So it takes about an hour and a half to get to where you're like. I mean, you weren't going to go all the way to the
We
city.
weren't going to go all the way.
You're, let's say. I mean, how far away did you want to get?
Mile.
A mile. All right. So you're a mile away. Yeah, about an hour and a half.
We find a place to stash the bikes that is in a bush or something.
Well, there's a lot of sand right here. You could bury them in the sand very easily.
Let's do that then.
And then somebody with survival wants
That's
to
what I was rolling for.
camouflage the area so that nobody's going, hey, somebody buried something right there.
And
Yeah, that would be a superb survival.
All right, that's good. So
and
as
take-
long as nobody's carefully searching the area.
And take note of where you left them
Oh, yeah.
so that we can find them.
Well, yes, that's probably useful.
Let's see it. 15 degrees we have.
Yeah.
I assume Annie has a really sensitive metal detector magnetometer she could use for finding them if need be.
Okay, so
Wait a
there's
minute.
Alice Springs in the distance. It is not impressive. I guess it's called Stewart now.
Yeah.
That's right.
I can't think of it as anything other than Alice Springs for some reason.
Well, I guess I'll do a sex change operation or something.
Whatever. Yeah, I mean, you're a mile away, so you look at it, you go, wow, that's not a city. It's barely even a village. There is.
It's a dump. That's what it is.
No, it's not a dump.
It has a bar. It has a bar and a church.
It actually has a very, I mean, you can see a very nice looking church from here.
Okay.
It's got multiple spires, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Is that it?
I mean, it's got it's got two of the necessary attributes to be a town in Wisconsin.
Yes.
I doubt that it has a gas station.
Actually,
It's a little-
It
might-
does.
and
It's
this
got a
thing-
gas station.
Wow.
Because otherwise, nobody would be able to drive a motor vehicle in this
There is that.
area. Because there's no other thing near here.
And they're not gas stations, they're filling stations.
Well, fine. Service stations, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So from this distance, it doesn't look scary. I would guess whatever Big Sal's
Not
got
from a
is-
mile away,
Yeah.
no.
I would guess whatever Big Sal's got is underground with the entrance in some
Last
very
time Big
inner
Sal's
very
place didn't look
nondescript,
scary until you got there and inspected it closer.
especially the closets.
There's also the question of
Well.
exactly how close to Alice Springs is it?
Yeah, that's true. We're working
The
with
address
radio
was a
direction
P.O.
now.
box in Alice Springs, wasn't it?
I thought it was name Alice Springs, Australia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like a general delivery address.
Okay.
But there are so few people in
Well,
the
Alice
Springs that that's-
They can find them.
they can find the person. Yes, the
We might
postal carrier does not have a problem with just a
Keeping
name.
track of a dozen names or so.
Well, it's more than a dozen.
You're right up.
Well, he would have an address probably written down in the post office somewhere.
True. If we don't find any other clues, we can certainly check at the post office.
My wife has appealed for help. I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Okay.
You know, if we weren't hushed, we could be having a good time.
You're a mile outside of Alice Springs. What would you be doing for a good time there?
Going into Alice Springs.
Which we're doing anyway, but probably not headed for the bar or pub to have a drink or something.
I say just go snoop to the post office, see if we can find an address. Probably won't be one, but you never know, you try.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike most of Australia, around Alice Springs, there tends to be more women than men. At that time.
Right.
Never actually been.
Neither have I.
The only time I went to Australia, it was February. So once
You're the
again,
last
that
place-
topic of middle of a desert in the middle of summer.
Yes.
I decided I was on vacation. I could pick better locales to visit. Like the Great Barrier Reef.
I'm told Tasmania is quite interesting.
Didn't make it down that south. It has some quite interesting flora and fauna, I know. But didn't make it down that far south. Just like I didn't make it to the far western.
We are moving towards.
I think
Alice
we are
Springs?
moving
Yeah.
towards the post office in Alice Springs.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're moving towards Alice Springs itself.
Yes.
We don't know where the post office is yet.
I know.
You get about a quarter mile away, and Simon makes a roll. Our mysteries.
You'd say mate, right?
That's
Well-
still good. Well, okay, not good. That's still like really, really, really good. But for him, maybe he's not happy with it. And I'm waiting.
Technically, that will succeed. I don't want to.
You don't want to
Barely
just
six-
succeed.
I
is
don't
what
want
you're
to just succeed.
Okie dokie.
More shifts
Why
is-
succeed when you can exceed?
Well,
more
no,
shifts
the
is more
thing,
information.
the thing
Yes.
is, it's probably more information at this point. I don't want to just barely make this roll. Which is
Nothing
what I was
exceeds
headed
like
for.
excess.
The spirits say gets me to legendary.
Alrighty then. Legendary.
Since the base difficulty for all things mysteries is fantastic, and that was the roll.
All right. So, you stop dead in your tracks and say stop.
I stopped.
There is an enormous dome covering the entire town of Alice Springs of a mysteries nature. It's like there's a huge circle around the town.
Is it going to
And
ground?
not a simple circle. It's like it's got multiple aspects, at least 3. There's some sort of sensor warning. There's some sort of defensive barrier. And there's another one that you can see it, but you can't really see what it is. So it's like a there's like this whole domed area is shimmering in multiple various aspects.
Hey, Ed, you already seen your special goggles.
Do I make a
Make a mysteries roll.
Yeah. Make a
No.
battery.
Did you fail in this roll?
He rolled
He
minus
rolled a
4,
-4.
so
It is
yes.
sad when it is possible for Annie to exceed your mystery.
It really is. Yeah.
All right, this
Now
is
it is
these
power.
goggles have a dual nature: mysteries and engineering. Is it
Mysteries and science.
mysteries and science?
Do
Okay.
I need to roll both?
No.
Okay. Well, that is considerably improved.
A swing of 6.
Yeah.
6. Yeah.
May still throw one more at it. Give me a moment to tally. That would be, I just used that one, alas. It would be fantastic, plus any bonus I get for the goggles, plus if I can get a +1 for my companion. No, not on using the goggles, because he's not.
He doesn't have a pair of
perceive the
his own.
same way. He's not wearing the goggles himself.
Actually, even though that's true,
You get the bonus.
you still get the bonus. It doesn't make any sense, but it's a group bonus that improves
Okay.
your mysteries.
Right. Just
Because he doesn't see in the same way,
Because
he
he's-
observes
he's
something that
that's possible.
All right,
And, you
so-
know, he's the ghost of my teacher, so just being in rapport with him improves my perceptions. Okay, I will not throw another fate point at it then. See what I can get with fantastic plus bonus.
So
From the group.
there is, you definitely see the aura of this enormous hemisphere.
Right.
You might estimate it to be, I don't know, a quarter-mile across. So that's huge.
Yeah,
that is
really
a very
huge.
large
Whatever,
circle.
Yeah, warded area or whatever.
Nobody did this in a day.
No, it would take
Um,
longer than that. Just,
But you
just to
also
walk at
see
tracing
like
a circle on a sharp stick.
there's extra like a grid of some sort, a cylindrical grid somehow, sort of crisscrossing patterns from about the same spot that the hemisphere is, and the cylindrical grid is you can tell it's some form of light, but it's not normally visible. It's not normal visible light.
Right. I will I will tell. So is what we have is a hemispherical dome, and from the same circular edges, there's a
Approximately the
cylinder
same. I mean, you
going
can't really
right,
really
but I
tell
mean-
it's within inches.
Okay. Within inches for something at least a quarter mile across
Yeah.
is, you know,
Yes.
that goes straight up from there.
Yes.
So they definitely are concerned with detecting aerial incoming. I will tell everybody this as best I can and suggest to Annie that she just check for wavelengths other than visible light by whatever means she most easily can.
Can you show me where the edge of this thing is?
Yes, definitely. And point it out to within a couple inches.
I'm assuming that I don't see anything in the infrared because
Not
the goggles
infrared,
show-
yes.
And presumably not in ultraviolet or the rest
And
of us would have
infrared wouldn't be the smartest thing to
Depends.
use in a hot
I
desert.
mean,
Well,
ultraviolet is
Lots
a
of
very
folks
large
think-
yes.
area.
Not, it's not in a
It's not
part
in
of the
band of
ultraviolet spectrum
that
that
the
we're
goggles.
that the goggles are see that the goggles are seeing.
Yes.
This may perhaps be a silly question, but how far down does it go?
That's why I'm digging a hole right now.
Sure.
How far down? You're a quarter
Under the
mile
ground.
away.
Under the ground.
Yeah.
You have a dome?
No,
Does-
we're at
does
the
the
edge
dome-
of the dome.
Right. Does the dome or the cylinder or both go into the ground, or is there an edge at the ground?
That's why I'm digging
Could
a
we
hole.
tunnel under it?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm digging a hole
And
next to the.
is there a base that basically it doesn't matter because we'd be coming up through the floor of it?
So,
Just thinking in
I'm just trying to picture this. So the whole thing is a quarter mile across, but you're still
At
a
one
quarter
end.
mile from the town.
Right.
So you're a ways away from it.
Oh, we're not right up against
You're not right
it.
up
Yeah,
against it.
Okay.
Oh,
Then
I
would-
thought that we
I
were
misunderstood.
right
No,
at
no,
the
no.
border.
Well,
You're a quarter mile away from
Okay.
the barrier.
then we
Okay.
want to
Then we need to be-
cautiously move in.
But it was
right by
such
it.
a giant, powerful thing
Okay.
that Simon went, "Holy crap!"
I should be able to come up with a fairly good idea from this distance. Given how big it is, easier from here than from closer. When the hemisphere hits ground,
Mhm.
asserting that this hemispherical surface is a chunk of sphere.
Yes.
Um,
As a matter of fact, you know from your knowledge of circles that they often will form a sphere of whateverness.
The question is, I should be able to tell relatively closely. How close to the vertical is it at the point at which the hemisphere hits ground? I.e., am I
is
looking
it an
at
actual hemisphere, or is it just the top bit of a sphere?
or is
that
it just,
will-
or is it actually like a quarter sphere?
Okay, make an academics roll. You're going to try and estimate how far, either above or below ground,
Mhm.
this circle itself is.
Nope, you don't.
That would be a good academics roll.
You'd say within 10 feet of the surface, and
Okay.
it's below.
Okay.
So it's very close. I mean, with a quarter-mile sphere, that's
Yeah.
relatively close to the
Mhm.
surface.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's in that.
Okay, you're like a quarter-mile away
Yeah.
from the
Right.
hemisphere. Digging a hole right here is not going to help.
I don't have to go up to it, but
Mm-hmm.
But it
What?
sounds like it won't help anyways if it's a sphere.
Well, the magical bit is a
the
sphere.
mystery stuff
The mystery
is a
stuff is
sphere. The cylinder,
Is
You
a
don't know.
cylinder.
Might stop at the ground.
yeah. I mean,
You
it's
know.
it's
Yeah.
it's light. It probably
Yeah.
doesn't penetrate the ground very easily. Well, I mean, you might. Yeah.
no. I don't know.
Maybe not.
So that part you could probably bypass with a tunnel, but no, you're not going to bypass the sphere, the triple mysteries, whatever it is.
While we are approaching it,
Yes.
I'm going to examine it.
Okay. So you're getting closer than a
As we
quarter
get-
mile away.
As I'm assuming we're going to get closer to it.
All right.
As we close
Kind
on
of
it,
needed to do
While,
anything.
while we're doing that, I'll keep a lookout for real surveillance.
Now, was somebody going to try and figure? You were going to try and figure out what wavelength it was, since it's not in the near infrared and it's not in
If
the
I
near
have a
ultraviolet.
capability to, I would like to. Yes.
Make a science roll.
Okay. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, that's good enough. It's somewhere beyond what the goggles detect, but it's in the ultraviolet
Okay.
area.
High
So
wavelength.
harder ultraviolet than what our
Yes.
illuminators use.
so
Shouldn't
As we're
penetrate
walking up-
sound very far.
2 questions. One, I want to see if I can get a better idea of what that third function is.
Okay.
And 2, I want to see if the sensor function has the same flaw that the sensor function of the Radio Shack had.
And the mysteries protection.
Yeah, the mysteries protection at the Radio Shack.
Okay.
Which is
You'll
to
have
say,
to cross the barrier.
yeah, which is to say you have to actually cross the barrier for it to trigger.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell my colleagues that I'm going to be putting most of my attention at that stuff up there, and would they please guide me and make certain I don't step on anything, blah, blah, blah.
Don't step on that snake right there.
I think Rick
Guide
and
me
I can
appropriately.
do that.
And so I'm going
Oh,
to...
you can just pause for 15 seconds and everybody just stands there. It's
After
not,
that
it's
might
not
be
going to take you an hour to stare at.
Especially with that roll.
Wow, yeah.
That's godlike +1.
So, let's see, I said like a warning system.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other one? It was
Defensive.
defensive.
Defensive and unknown.
This one, the third one, it's a suppression field of some sort. It suppresses something.
Okay.
You can't figure out what. Possibly because it's suppressing your vision. But yes, it's a suppression field. That's as much as you can get out of it.
Let's throw a snake through it and see what it does.
Not a bad idea, actually.
Whatever it suppresses, it has to be something that a normal person wouldn't necessarily notice.
Yep.
Yep.
Because people do come and go in Alice Springs.
Yep.
It's not, you know, every
Area
10 minutes or
51.
something.
Right, okay.
Well, it might make guns not work. Might make explosives not work.
And yes,
Might make mysteries
it
not
is
work.
not simply a shell. It is, so it doesn't have that. It will
so
trigger it once you enter, even if you teleport.
It's a spherical field.
Yes.
Once you're in it, you're in it.
Yes.
Lovely.
You're pretty sure it's arrival that does it. So not merely existing there, it's getting there.
Because I realize that magic is completely illogical, I will ask Simon, so if we walk backwards, is that still arrival?
Yes.
This there's
For purposes of this thing, yes.
okay. I'm just asking if there is some weird definition that would be it isn't arrival but allows us to be
You
there.
could time travel back to before the sphere was
No,
there,
no.
so that you're already there.
That
And then
causes-
time travel, well, yeah, you'd already have been there, so you just time travel forwards while remaining there. I guess that would work, but other than that, no.
That has other problems.
Well,
You
yes.
really want to do the time warp again?
No.
No, I don't.
And no other way to finesse it on inside, outside, arriving, departing, that Simon can tell from here. Okay. That's
Okay.
annoying.
All right, well,
No, that's
You were on the
effective.
list, unfortunately.
okay, here.
Yeah.
I take a little bullet and tie a fishing line out of it. I throw it through and I pull it back.
All right, so you walked all the way up
Yeah,
to
we're
it.
gonna walk all the way up to it.
Yeah.
We're not
Alright.
gonna stand a quarter mile away trying
No,
to.
we're not.
No, you've been walking towards it, but now
We've
we're
been-
already up
Yeah.
to it.
Walking towards it.
So you tie a bullet to a line and you throw the bullet
Mhm.
through the barrier.
And I am watching while he does this, yes, mystically.
Nothing happens mystically.
Okay.
Pull it back.
Still nothing happened?
Is it just a normal bullet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then it's fine.
Okay. Then I'm gonna have to figure out. Annie, is there a way you can tell if this bullet's any good without me firing it?
I see.
Well, what do you mean by any good? It's a lead bullet, right?
Oh, here, no, it's a cartridge. Sorry, I'm gonna break,
Okay.
I'm gonna break the cartridge open.
All right,
I'm gonna get a match and I want to see if the powder burns.
burns just fine.
Well, it didn't deactivate the gunpowder.
So
So it's not a permanent explosive because it's now you're the bullet is on the other side with you.
Yeah.
It's not in there.
I pulled
Mhm.
it back.
Right.
So if that's what it suppresses, it only works once you're in there. It doesn't permanently affect your guns or your ammo.
Yes.
Sure. Slightly more than we do before that
Didn't
experiment.
you have some blessed or arcane bullets?
I do. I'm not gonna put those in. It might really set it off. Might go off like the 4th of July.
I think it's more likely to suppress the blessed or arcane aspect of the bullet as long as they're in there.
That's plausible, but I sort of agree with Jack that introducing a blessed or arcane object might well set something off.
I mean, it might set an alarm. It may not like destroy it, but it might.
Well, yes, there is. I mean, you know that one of the aspects of the circle is detection. So what is it detecting?
It might detect magical items going in.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Certainly might.
Okay, so I gotta do the next experiment now. I gotta go, I gotta get a stick. I gotta put the bullet on and take the top off. And then I gotta go and make another stick with a match, poke it into the barrier, then light the powder, see if it burns.
Okay. Well, this is a little complicated, but yes, it burns when it's inside the hemispherical or spherical area.
Okay, well, it's not suppressing guns. Because all you need to
It's
do
not suppressing combustion.
combustion,
Yeah.
which is what I need to get the gun work. Because the hammer comes down, the firing pin hits the center pin. That makes a spark, which then burns the powder, which makes lots of
This
gas.
doesn't block Simon's ability to detect into the area. Because
Far as we
otherwise
know.
it
Well,
would be effectively...
do you want to tell him about how you couldn't really tell what the third element was?
I thought I had. So
Or
I will
her,
eliminate,
actually,
I will
since
eliminate
it's
on that.
Simon telling Annie.
Yeah.
I can tell it's suppressing
Scott.
something, but cannot tell what it's suppressing.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Okay.
So it might be some sort of generalized magical suppression,
Mm-hmm.
which is then also influencing my ability to proceed magically within the field, even from out here.
So would that make it magically dark, and is it magically dark? Something that blocks light would prevent... But I know
Yeah,
that
but it
those
may be more
analogies
like an
don't work
optical
with your
illusion.
stuff.
The only trouble with that is that if we made a magic light and we shined it into it, if it hit it and just didn't go anywhere, like hitting it with magic light might trigger something. Because you don't normally get magic light.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
You don't have
But I
any
think
light
what
in
she,
the
I
field,
understand
okay?
what she's asking.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
if it blocks or interferes with all forms, then no information would come back, and you could detect the lack of information.
Yeah.
I hope.
He got at, well, he knows that he perceived very well and got very little information back
Yeah.
Okay.
above what he had previously gotten.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So there's at least some suppression of perception going on. What was the roll? Godlike plus
Godlike plus one.
Plus
That
one, yeah.
doesn't necessarily follow.
Hmm.
Edgy, can you read any of the signs in town?
Well, I'll certainly pull
Binoculars
out
on, maybe.
binoculars and see what I. Yeah.
Sure.
That's a test. How well are we doing on ordinary physical stuff?
It
Is there
suppresses
anything?
literacy.
And the
Yeah.
natives never notice.
Oh, what do we have here?
I was going to say it suppresses
Well,
bladder control, but
No.
Well,
All right.
You'd have noticed that by now.
Your vision does not seem to be obscured. I mean, it's
Right.
nighttime, so it's dark, but
Yeah.
beyond the fact that it's
That-
nighttime,
Yeah, that's
you can see just as well as you think you would be able to see.
right. Yeah, and that was legendary plus whatever I got for the binoculars, which is probably just a
And
plus
right
one
now
on
you do not
sliding.
know what it
Yeah.
detects entering, or
Right.
you do.
I did not.
You do not.
The
know that
one
it's
other experiment I can think of that we could easily try is have someone whose mysteries is at mediocre try walking into it, and see what happens. I know we've got two people that could do that if either of them felt like it. Obviously, there's a certain amount of risk involved. Yes, good idea.
Is there anything else that I may not know about?
I don't think so.
Do an academic roll.
Okay.
Let's see.
now I got a spare set of clothes you can just put on.
That would be superb.
What did we get for Christmas?
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
You want to leave what's his name's lucky? You want to leave Walker's lucky coin here.
Okay. I thought
Okay.
it was fair.
Those are the only mysteries-based things that you have. Is that correct? Or mysteries enhanced, even. If it's got a mysteries enhancement, you need to tell me right now.
I suggest you put on my spare set of clothes because there's nothing
No,
in there.
thank you. I do not know about the perfectly spherical pearl. I'm going to assume that there are no mysteries elements to a first edition Mars.
Yeah.
I believe
You have not mystically enhanced the book that you
I-
gave to Anne.
I do not drastically enhance anything. So
Yeah.
those are the things I can.
Okay.
And I wouldn't have believed the coin was, which is why I asked Simon if
Right.
I had anything.
Good for you. All right. So we're sending you
In,
across
I
the
guess.
barrier.
Tell me when I'm across.
Okay.
That was to Simon.
Yeah, remember, she's also disguised, so she doesn't look like Annie Smith.
Right.
Yes, I'm watching to see when she crosses the barrier.
Make an alert.
And I'm
All
watching
right.
to see if she comes
Does the
into danger.
technology in my goggles work for this? That makes a tremendous difference to my alertness.
They are infrared based.
They are infrared based with science as alertness, science as investigation.
No.
They do not apply. Okay. So I'm on my base alertness, which is average.
Okie dokie.
Maybe you should attempt rip.
He didn't get volunteered.
Plus, he's got more mysteries things on him. than-
That's true.
He has a lot of mysteries things.
Okay. These are the ones Magenta wanted, right?
Yes.
We should have how much do we owe you? I don't know if I have enough on me right now. What?
Yes.
I'm finding a good spot and covering her with my sniper rifle.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
I think that's a very appropriate aspect for what I'm doing. And it's better, but not by much. And then... What? Not my fault. That gets it up to average. Right? No, that gets it up to good. That gets it up to good.
That makes
Well, that's better.
Probably not enough. but-
Not
You're
enough.
hitting
So
it
you
right
walk
there.
across.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't notice anything.
No. Why don't you make an investigation roll as well?
With your base
Aided by
investment.
science.
Aided by science.
Oh, wow, that's average plus 1, that's a third.
Yeah, that's much
and
better. So that's great.
3/4.
As
you-
Oh,
as
that's
you
$5.
Go past what you have been told is the barrier. You feel your body get a little warmer.
Okay, I could see that with the ultraviolet
Australia
and
in the
stuff.
summer.
Yeah.
How can you tell?
Yeah. So
It's
you
nighttime.
are pretty sure that you've
Right.
gone
Pass
past
through it.
some sort of grid.
Let's give it away.
But whatever. I mean,
Other than feeling a little warmer as I passed it, I don't notice anything, guys.
he's still there. She's still there. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yes.
Annie is still there. You can still see her. She hasn't like puffed up in a back.
She isn't
you know-
stealth, but oh well.
Yeah, I mean, you had to move out of the hush area.
Hushed area.
Could I tell whether or not the detector portion went off as she passed through it?
You would have had to have been paying attention at the
I thought
time.
you
Okay,
was.
I thought I was.
You
but-
were? Okay, then no. The detector portion did not go off.
Okay.
Uh-huh. So
The detector portion of the sphere did not go off.
is
Okay.
not interested in reacting to every single human being that passes through it, which makes sense.
Yes.
Make for a lot of false alarms. As, people making deliveries
I
and stuff.
sort of expected that.
Mhm.
'Cause
Yeah, it's not.
However, there is something that is possible to detect with standard science to what they're doing. Otherwise, I wouldn't have felt the slight flush
Oh,
as I
yeah.
passed through.
Yeah, there's
There
something.
there is
It's something that
there
can
is
be-
something remarkably similar to microwaves that is familiar.
Yeah, but microwaves is the other direction.
Yeah,
It's
they-
low infrared, not
Oh, is it?
ultraviolet. Yes.
I was thinking,
Microwaves is high frequency radio waves.
okay.
Coming from somebody who's an
Hey,
amateur
could be
radio operator.
using more than one thing. There could be ultraviolet
In
and
any
dark
case,
radio frequency.
there was
just-
something that my body sensed as I went
Some sort of
through.
energy was being
Some sort
pushed
of-
into your body.
Now,
Yeah, and I
wasn't
can't
a-
tell you, and I can't tell you whether or not that went off.
Yes, you have no idea.
Feels fine now, though.
Yeah, once you got past the area that's described to you as a
It's a
barrier.
I was still wearing these special gimmick goggles. Might I have noticed anything Simon didn't, considering that we've got both?
Well, you're
technical
pretty
and
sure
yes,
that you didn't notice anything happen with the hemisphere.
Mm-hmm. What
The
about-
light grid, I mean, it was interrupted
Mhm.
as Annie passed through it.
So, somebody watching a control panel or readout somewhere may know that something human of
Something
approximately
about human
mass
size
passed
passed
through.
through, yes.
I'd be mildly surprised.
But
if
you
they
didn't see
don't
like,
know.
pop-up bunkers
Yeah.
or no, there was no sudden, robot apocalypse running at you
Yeah.
or
Simon's had a fiendish idea.
No, Scott had a fiendish
Okay.
idea.
Yeah.
Should Simon try and enchant a gang?
Enchant a gang.
I believe that's the proper. I believe that's the proper collective noun.
Of kangaroos?
Yes.
Well, you have to bring them here first.
Yeah, you're looking around. There are no kangaroos in
Yeah.
the general area right now. And in fact, you didn't see any kangaroos on your way here.
Yeah. There is.
They're
that.
for the grasslands further to the
Uh,
east.
Yes, they don't
Yeah.
really live in the desert.
Yeah, there is that.
I mean, there's stuff that lives in the desert.
Largest mammals we can find would
I
for the
would
trick I
say
think you're
that
thinking of.
Considering I could detect it, most animals would probably find that feeling unnatural and unwelcome.
You were trying to, because
Oh.
you wanted to know if something was happening.
Okay, so
I mean, it was
They
not a
might not-
huge, like, you
they
didn't
might
flush
not
or anything.
notice.
It was just, you
I
suddenly felt
barely
a
noticed.
little bit warmer, like
Okay.
something was pushing energy at you.
I have a way of
Yeah, the
getting
problem
by
is
this.
it really needs to be something close to human size.
I have a way of getting by this, but then I ended up blowing my stunt.
well,
Well, even teleporting in won't help because
No,
it's
that's not what I'm thinking.
dump all our mystic stuff.
Well, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time to think about this. I'm
No,
gonna be
What you
back
got?
on hold.
I have a rare artifact. It's basically the history's version of the universal gadget.
Mm-hmm.
I can use that to get by this one barrier for everyone.
Oh,
I passed it, so
Yeah.
I don't need it. But
But then I lose my stunt. I mean, it's what I did it for.
Yeah.
I mean, the alternative would be to use it to make a shield.
walk into town and see what I can find out.
The thing is, I believe at least you and I are, for these purposes, walking magic items.
Yeah.
We
and-
both have tattoo artifacts.
Yes, but what I mean is the fact that you can use the stunt to get by one obstacle.
Yep.
And we could do that and get through this.
Yeah.
Oh, once you're inside, you're still in the
Yeah.
field.
Get by the obstacle.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
means
could prob-
negates the field.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
As long as that's the interpretation,
It's-
that would do it.
That's what it is
But
in
you
the books.
lose.
But then I don't have any more.
Yeah.
The other thing would be is to make like a force field around us that stealths us from the barrier. We could use that too. And basically, as long as we stay in a huddle, we'd be fine. You know, we'd have our own basically little mystic shield that Francis
That
being seen by that
cancels.
mystic shield.
Cancels what the detector is doing. Makes a blind spot.
Well, it doesn't in mysteries what they do with stealth in modern times.
Yeah.
You know, it just you can't radar just it's
Yeah.
absorbed, so it doesn't
Yeah.
give you an image back. So it doesn't show up.
Which might or might not be a useful analogy, but I
It's the
think
only one I
it's
could come up with.
arguable that something like that could work. Yeah.
Shield
Even-
within a shield.
even doing that may not allow you to use your mysteries. You don't know.
Yeah.
Do I realize that?
Make another alertness roll.
Okay. Do I realize that my goggles aren't really doing anything?
Well, I mean,
They're there.
they're night vision goggles, so
Yeah.
you can see better than. I mean, you would normally.
But-
they're not. They haven't become non-functional.
They haven't become non-functional, but there's nothing
Bless
for
you.
them to alert me to. Is that where I am?
Gee,
Well, I just had you make an alertness roll.
Okay.
but you can do very well, no?
Uh, Are you confused yet? I am. That brings me up to good from average.
Okay.
So, doesn't seem, or I should say, I assume I am not alerted to anything.
You
in
are
which
not.
case,
no.
I will say, doesn't seem to be anything.
I vote against Annie scouting all by herself. If Rick wants to try the same thing of taking off, divesting himself of mysteries related stuff, and the two of them
Well,
go
right.
into scout.
Right now, I kind of stand out because I'm an out-of-towner in the middle of the desert outside town.
And you came
just
in not
standing-
via the road.
Yep.
Not via the road at night.
Yep. And I'm talking to myself.
Well,
If anyone's close enough to notice, yes,
and
that's
I'm not
on
a
too.
native.
well, I know a way to fix that. You just get on your hands and knees and you crawl.
Well, but
into
you
the
are
desert.
disguised as an Australian.
Okay.
Just pretend you go.
Everybody in the group is disguised
Yes.
as not themselves, but as an Australian. Not
As a
a
generic Australian.
yeah, not a
A
particular.
generic Caucasian Australian?
Yes.
Okay.
In fact,
So I have a
we
reasonable
look like,
amount of clothes on.
hikers
Yes.
or something like that. Yeah.
You could just be staggered in from the desert and you got lost.
Well, she didn't stagger in.
True,
though. She
but
walked
I'm
in
not
normally.
True.
Yeah, but quarter mile away from town, most people haven't noticed. Or how far away from
You're
town
now
are you?
probably at the city limits.
Okay.
You
anyway,
were a quarter mile. You
Right.
advanced
Okay.
up to
Sure.
the
Yep,
hemisphere.
I'm thinking just standing here will attract attention eventually.
Yeah. Maybe sooner rather than later.
What time of night is it?
Good question.
Well, let's see. It's about me. So we can say that it's
The 2nd
the
of March.
2nd of March, yes.
So I should either head to the bar so I stand out less, or
Turn
turn
around
around,
and
which makes me
effectively
stand out
disappear.
even more because I would have just barely gone past a barrier that most people can't detect
Right.
and turned around.
Still think if you and Rick had for the bar together, you might be even more plausible.
Yeah. Guess you gotta know for your mystery stuff.
If Rick's willing to do
Yeah. So off goes the dino sword. Off go the rings. Off goes
Coin.
Diana's coin. Off goes what's his name's coin.
Walker's coin.
Walker's coin. Anything else in there?
I kind of feel bad about breaking my promise to the Amazons, but it's only a temporary thing.
Mm-hmm.
You guys will still get the alert, and I still have a radio on me.
Yep, that's everything in my. So yeah, Athena's coin is gone.
Athena's?
Yes, Athena.
Oh, that's the goddess. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Walker's
I was-
coin is gone, or I should say left behind.
Yes.
With
The
someone.
rings.
Yes.
The dino sword. My blessed Bowie knife got left down in a tunnel. So covered with goo.
Yeah, it's currently it's actually currently up in
Simon's.
in my mystic lab.
You're working on making it usable again, or just trying to figure out
Just
what
trying
the
to
heck
figure
happened
out
to
what
it?
Just
happened.
figuring out. Well, I know what happened to it. I'm trying to figure out what it is right now.
Okay.
So
So
everything that you can remember that is
well, I don't have that much. I mean,
mysteries enhanced.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, you're not Simon.
Yeah,
and I have
You're not
no
like-
tattoo. So
you're not like Simon and Jack that have tattoo artifacts on them.
well, we could always cut them off.
That sounds
Painful,
unpleasant.
time consuming, and then they want them back presently, which
I
would be
presume so.
more painful one way or another.
Yeah, okay. So I divest myself of those things
Mm-hmm.
and go catch up to Annie.
All right.
Yeah, the thing is, taking one of those tattoos off would mean taking off all of my skin from here to here to about here.
Okay.
Unpleasant.
Yes.
Ugh.
Wings of the dragon.
It's called
Yeah.
being flayed.
You don't want that. No.
Yeah.
Very messy.
All right.
The other one would just be taking off my eyelids.
That's not fun either.
Would it improve his alertness? I don't think
No.
so.
No.
Yeah, I can see
Make
that
an
would be a
alertness
problem.
roll.
Hmm?
Make an alertness roll.
An
you walk
alertness
through.
roll.
A little better than Annie.
Well, he's got a better base, I believe.
Yes.
Not with that roll though.
No.
That roll, no.
He's got fake
I'll
ones.
hang on to the
Yeah.
dinosaur for him, and you can have all the small stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, somebody else should carry his
Let's see.
his coin from Diana, so the two don't get mixed.
The Outback is no place for a Nancy boy. Well, that's better. At least it's a null. And
What are you at now?
I'm great.
I throw two faith points
Yeah.
at it.
That's what he was.
That's what I'm looking for.
Gotta remind
There's
yourself.
more to see than your eyes can show you.
I like that one.
I like
That's
that one.
very appropriate to the situation.
That brings me up to
Fantastic.
fantastic.
Okay.
That's-
You feel you've been detected.
Something's coming.
It's like a general, ominous feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get a direction, though you kind of figure,
Ahead.
that away.
Somewhere in that direction.
Yes. It's not the rest of your group who suddenly detected you, even
Yeah.
though you've gotten out of hush.
Yeah. Possibly even more like that direction, but
Yeah.
towards the town. Right.
Well, I was trying to
Indicate the hemisphere.
Indicate
yes.
the
It's a very big hemisphere, so
Yeah.
you're not curving your arms much at all.
I say we just pull it on through. Head into town.
Yeah, radios still work, right?
Mm-hmm.
The sizzing still work.
We can, have them go a few
Tap a
steps
yes.
and
Yeah.
do
The radios have not been suppressed.
a excellent. They might.
I suggest you go to the bar that's outside of it. It's not open, which it probably isn't since it's midnight.
It's midnight on a Sunday. Well, it's Sunday morning now.
It's now Sunday morning, yes.
Oh,
Or
midnight
you
on
could
a
go down
Saturday.
Saturday night, yeah.
It's
They
still
might still be
Saturday
open.
night our time, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I mean it's midnight. Yeah,
But
you could
that's-
call it Sunday morning, or you can call it Saturday night. Most people think of it as Saturday night.
Oh, we crossed the date line while we were at it.
That's
Yeah,
true,
I
you
don't
did.
think I've accounted for that.
You
but-
haven't, because neither.
Head into town.
Head into town.
Well, at least we have the dusty look from having come.
Yeah,
Wrong
yeah.
way.
You've definitely been hiking through the desert. People who look at you will say, yes, they've been out in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
They've been walkabout.
Yep. And that's all we gotta say. We've been walkabout.
All right. So, yes, you walk into town. There is a bar. It is open, as a matter of fact. It hasn't closed yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got my binoculars on, so I'm keeping tabs.
All right.
And I go in and go up to the barman and say, "Can we get 2 pints, please?"
All right.
By the way, I took the silly looking goggles off.
Yes.
Good idea.
Wearing goggles would be a bad idea at the moment.
Actually, out in the desert, goggles are helpful.
Yeah.
You don't want to get sand in your eyes.
That's
If it's windy at all,
Mm,
you might wear goggles, but you don't need the
But
goggles inside
inside
the
the
bar.
bar.
All right.
And these goggles look a
Look
little weird.
very strange.
Yeah.
if somebody's paying attention, yeah.
So, there are about 3 patrons in there,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all staring at you too. As is, of course, the barman, because you went up to the bar.
Yeah.
And he draws a couple of beers for you and gives you tells you how much you need to pay him.
And as it happens, I do have pounds with me.
Okay. Yes, nobody had said we exchange our money for
Mm-hmm.
Australian money, but you're from Australia, so it wouldn't be that unusual for you to still have some Australian money on you.
Some real money.
Some real
Some
money,
real
yeah.
money. Yes.
So you pay for the beers.
I pay for the beers, and we
There are several tables that are empty. You want to sit at the table or stay at the bar?
Actually, I'll ask if we can get a room for the night.
Is there
Someplace
This
in
anybody
is
town.
the bar.
Yeah, you're right, but does anybody in town have their
Well, we
boarding house?
don't have a hotel of any sort.
That makes it more interesting. I guess
And there's
it's-
no place. I mean, it's late enough that there's none of the rooming houses would accept your entry.
Mm.
Guess
We can
it's
sleep
camping out
Yeah,
in
sleep.
the
You'll have to
outback
sleep
again.
rough for the night. Tomorrow morning, he gives you. He tells you. Yeah, if you go down the street there, that sort of largish house, they do rent rooms, but not until morning. They're not going to. They're not.
If you try
They're
to,
locked for the night.
Yeah. Try to get them out of bed at this hour, they're not going to be very
No
customer
worries.
friendly.
Well, I thought I'd give it a fair shake. We'll just have our beers and then go out and find a place to kick.
Okay. Well, you do that.
Should we do that?
I'm guessing that you checked out the other 3 guys in the
It
bar
doesn't
to see if
take
there was
much.
anything about 'em.
Yeah, I mean, you looked at them. They look like Australian.
And anyone coming
Drunks,
in the way
basically.
we are would attract attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
You came in at midnight, and they
Oh,
know
gosh.
you don't live here.
You
So,
were
yes,
therefore
that's
an
why they were
very
staring at you.
Interesting.
You didn't even need to make a rapport roll on that.
Yes, we are going to be the center of attention until everybody else wakes up, at which point we'll just be sort of somewhat interesting.
Yes.
We hope.
All right, so you
Yep.
drink your beers and exit the bar.
Drink beers, exit bar,
Thanks for the break.
and may as well just start
Heading
heading down the road.
Okay. Are you?
No, we're going to walk outside the sphere again.
Okay.
It isn't that far.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is a quarter mile across. It's not going to take an enormous amount of time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you walk out along the road in whichever direction gives you less distance to circle back to us.
Sound.
No,
Okay.
just walk along the road
Right.
because
It's a north-south road.
Right.
You guys are south of town,
So
not
south.
on the road, but
Yeah.
still
Yeah, that's what I meant.
walking south on the road,
Whichever
and then
direction
Yep.
would give you less distance to walk once you're outside the
I
detector stuff.
I am not concerned about that as much as walking far enough that in the night it's unlikely anyone would see us before we deviate from the road.
Sure.
not a problem. Okay, so
So should we
Okay,
wait
is-
for Jack to say surprise to
Yeah.
us?
When I'm not this, remember? So I see him leave town, I see him go on the road. I said, well, let's intercept him.
Sure.
Follow on.
So, about the time I'm saying, so should we wait for Jack to say surprise to us? I guess that
Jack's a surprise.
So
Morning.
are we circling just outside the shield and
I
waiting for them to
you're not
come
going
across, or we
across
go
the
back?
shield
I-
unless you
Right.
tell me.
I,
Just double checking.
It was a decent beer.
It was a beer. I mean, it was
a beer.
It was the
After-
beer they had on tap. They only had one beer on tap.
It was a beer, and after 20 miles in the dust,
it's nice to
It was cold.
and it approached cold.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, okay. Got a,
You can even say it was a Foster's.
means it tastes
Why
like crap.
Have they been around?
What?
Have they been around that long?
Introduced in 1889.
Okay. It's a light lager. It's not
Yeah.
bad beer. It's just not terrific beer.
It's not one that the Australians boast
the
about.
ones
Unless
they
they're
boast-
paid to in a commercial.
the ones they boast about. I personally like their hard ciders better.
So, yes, you have. Well, I mean, I'm not sure how this is going to work. Are you breaking stealth and then going back into stealth and hushing everyone?
No, I can't do that. I'm gonna have to have him just.
Well, then you're not saying hi there to them because they can't see you. They can't hear you if you are stealth.
Well, they're gonna have to just keep walking down the road then.
Okay.
I'll keep trailing them.
How far are we going then?
I'm gonna say we go
3,
about
4 miles.
3
no
or 4
problem.
miles.
Okay.
Then I could, or one of us could, might as well be me, send it, we probably have a short code signal that means just keep going or something to that effect.
Yeah, I mean, you can use your radios. That's not
Mhm.
breaking stealth.
Right. So I will,
The curiosity would make me try and figure out where we cross the barrier again, but
Okay. Make another investigation
Alertness.
and alertness rolls. Yeah.
Investigation aided by science, huh?
Yes. Investigation is aided by science in this case.
well, the alertness is impressive. Does a terrible do it?
At a -3.
No, only takes
When all else fails,
-2
listen
for
to your
Andy.
gut.
to get
That
down
brings
to
me up to
purple.
fantastic again.
You have once again been detected as you pass through that area.
And
That's the one I was looking for.
I'll just leave it at average. I probably missed.
Yeah, you don't notice the you don't notice anything.
Yes. Carlton Draft. Made with beer. That is actually one of their advertising slogans. Made with beer.
And they're the ones that did that ad.
Okay.
To Carmina Burana.
That's exceedingly silly.
Oh, it gets even better.
It gets even better.
Wait till they do the crane shot.
Really?
And there's the crane shot.
Yeah.
The other one I like is Sheds.
I want to know what drugs those advertising people are on,
They
so
probably,
I don't take
they
any
probably
by
watched the
mistake.
extreme hurting video.
So we've gone a couple of miles outside of town,
Mm-hmm.
and now Jack is breaking stealth so that he can, let the other two people know.
Yep.
We didn't go through the barrier again yet.
Did
He
you
went through-
notice passing?
You went-
Yes, we,
Okay.
Oh, we
we
did.
got detected going across the barrier both ways. Or I
Okay.
did anyway.
I missed it, I guess.
I guess so.
Now, it's one of two things. It could be it didn't notice you because it's not looking for you.
Possible.
All right, a re-stealth. Godlike +3.
Okay.
If it's a mysteries thing, tune to people that he and his cohorts already knew about. Yes, it might not be looking for Andy.
I
Great
felt
possibility.
something going in. Maybe I just missed it. Or
You were distracted by something. Who knows?
still
Distracted by the
wondering.
lousy beer.
Still going through my mind now. What would the properties be of that ally?
Yeah.
So,
So, Simon, what we need to do is we need to become stealth mysteries.
and science.
I don't care about the science. People walk in all the time.
Yeah.
That's true. They may detect every person who passes into that
Yeah.
sphere, but
Yes.
they
No
wouldn't try
major.
to do-
I mean, like you didn't get shot at.
right.
But
No defensive turrets opened up.
but
You were detected. You were detected. Well, you both realized
we
that
must
something
have been-
happened. He knows he was detected. But nothing
Oh,
bad
I should
happened.
take at least the coin from Amazon's back.
Yes.
You can keep your ring. It doesn't seem to be needed right now.
You can have your walkers going back too.
Okay. It'd be rude to not
Oh.
take it back.
This is probably what you want the most, the dinosaur.
Yeah. Rings, coins, Athena's coin.
So, Jack, your idea, because might work. Certainly haven't thought of anything that I think is clever.
Well, I mean, that's the only thing I can come up with. We gotta be stealth mysteries. I mean, I can stealth us to a lot of things, but not mysteries.
If we're stealth, And the science detects us crossing. That in and of itself is notable because, okay, we detected someone, now we can see them.
Just makes
There's
us
a difference between that and, okay, we detected someone, but we don't see them.
so well, we need to look to the mysteries detection stuff like ordinary people with no mysteries talents and no mysteries artifacts.
And then we need to come up with a science-based way to defeat the detector. That's your department.
I'm so are either of those things that we sort of need to do both of feasible, Annie and Simon?
Well, I know a way of doing it. Steve knows a way of doing it in the game.
Doing
yeah.
which? This.
We have one more universal gadget left. And
Oh, for the anti-detection part. Yeah.
of the
Of
science
the science.
space.
Yes.
And we have the mystical equivalent for the mysteries one.
We each have a rare artifact that hasn't been expended yet.
Okay.
And you could use that to do that.
Sure.
And you basically make it use the improvements that you need to make a mystery stealth field.
So, power lines in this town. Were there power lines?
Is electricity laid on?
Yep.
I think the answer would be yes.
Yeah. I mean, they're.
At least to the major buildings.
Mm-hmm.
Like the barn, the church, and maybe the
That's
post
not
office.
far.
No, that cutting power wouldn't work because they're used to losing power. That means backup generators. That won't work. It was an idea. Unfortunately, rural areas are used to losing all power.
Yeah, well, mostly they just sit back and wait for the power to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Or wait for morning to do whatever they were going to do anyway.
But
Yeah. If the power went out right now, no one would notice. I mean, the people in the bar
Yeah.
would notice.
Hardly anyone would notice.
Yes, hardly anyone would notice.
But since we are presumably dealing with someone defensive minded and probably paranoid too.
I wonder if they had failover switches at this time.
Page 218.
Or
The effect that we were thinking about.
But
The second paragraph under those wonderful toys, gadgets as effects. Well, actually, both of those paragraphs kind of apply.
now, granted, this is the big city between Adelaide and, well,
the big city is about 3 blocks long.
Yeah. It's the largest town for several hundred miles in.
it's like
Though it does have a very nice church.
250, I think that's what I saw, 250 miles to get to Coober Pedy. And that's the next notable town. And if you're
And farther
going
to
north,
Adelaide.
if you're going north, the next big town is Darwin.
That's a
I'm
long ways
sure.
away.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Well, almost.
Almost, yeah.
So, I mean,
As I recall.
you could. There's two ways of going about this. One is we just have a gadget that shields us from the detector, and the other one we have a gadget shields us, makes us stealth the mystery. So,
Well,
all our mysteries.
yeah, the artifact would make you. You wouldn't
Yeah.
use a gadget to stealth you the mysteries.
Mhm.
That
Right.
wouldn't.
No. And so it just can't see it. I mean, the reason they have these gadgets these stunts is to use them.
Mhm.
It isn't just to have them sit there and
Okay.
I suspect that it would require expending both of them.
well, we need a one universal gadget.
Okay, both rare artifacts.
You get 3 improvements for the rare artifact.
Yeah, but if we're using them for those wonderful toys, gadgets as effects, a fast forward button, skip to the end of the scene, instead of pulling out a device, an unspecified gadget can be used for a specific effect, which is usually enough to simply bypass any challenge or at least radically redefine it. We probably would have to use one rare artifact for bypassing the detection part of the field, and another one for bypassing the suppression part.
No, just use the bypass the detection one. That's fine.
I thought the detection,
You know,
the detection one was a science based.
I was going to suggest
No,
that as
the
a
detection has-
possibility, but I've
it has
changed my
both.
mind.
Really? What?
Call it paranoia.
Oh, come
I
on. What
believe
could
the
possibly
detection
happen?
has both.
Yeah.
And
Nothing untoward is going to happen.
and we do not know what the triggered defensive measure is, and we're speculating on the suppression.
Yeah, he's right, unfortunately.
I will admit that given the GM's reaction, I'm fairly confident in my evaluation of what the suppression field is suppressing.
Don't worry about it. Just the detection's fine. Just go in there and
And deal with the and I think it would require 3 rare artifacts to defeat the 3 functions of the magical field.
Detect, defend, and suppress.
Yeah.
I wonder what it's defending against.
Well, if it can't detect us, why would we need to be worried about the defend one?
Yeah.
I'd be
I'm-
I'd be prepared to risk that.
Yeah, I'm willing to risk the defend. We expend one.
Well, it's
we
all right.
expend.
All I can do right now is create thunderstorms. So
I thought yours was enlarged and mine created, but whichever.
whichever.
so we've
Might
decided
not
it's
go
just
for
the
that
one
thing.
rare artifact, right?
You try that again,
we
but
want
I
to
don't
save
think
the
it's
other
gonna
2
work.
for later. And
You got the one.
Yes. I have an artifact I can use to
gadget.
Here again.
a universal gadget.
You
to
got
get
one universal
around-
gadget unexpended.
Yes. To get around the detection that caught us coming into town. It won't do anything about the people who saw us or wonder when those 2 are coming back in the morning, but
Well, hopefully
Have
by the
many
morning it
hours
won't matter
before that's
anymore.
relevant.
So expend
sure,
universal gadget
I
for
will- I
a
will
science detect, rare artifact for magic detect, and rare artifact for magic suppress.
Yeah.
I will expend my universal gadget to prevent any technological means of detecting our trespass.
Okie dokie.
And just to
Can
make
we
sure
do that for any means or just the means we already know about? I'm not
I
sure
think
how.
technically we know that there's something here, and Annie would get out her instrument, say, "Oh, it must be this wavelength,"
Mhm.
and by
Mhm.
doing this and this, I can diffract it long enough for us
Yeah.
to go through, and
Mhm.
a few more minutes of or science babble, and we're through.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Or it just sits there and absorbs this band of ultraviolet, which includes that frequency, so it hits us and just
Mhm.
it's like we
All right.
doesn't respond.
So we've got 2 rare artifacts and a universal gadget
To get around.
to get around what we know about.
Yep.
Except one thing, which you aren't sure what it does.
Yeah.
and then depend on Jack's stealth to get us in.
Well, he's only
And our formidable.
Well,
ability
yeah,
to
you
improvise
already made your
once we
stealth
make
roll. You're a
contact
godlike
with
plus
them.
3, and everybody's hush.
Yep.
They all have to stay close to you, but that's
Yep.
fine. I mean,
Yep.
so
Since
since we're
we're
do-
hushed, I might as well have the clockwork staff at the ready.
okie dokie.
Because This,
Yeah, I mean, everybody can have whatever weapons to hand they
This
want to.
is-
No one's
Yeah.
seeing them.
Mhm.
yeah, this is going to end in excitement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
we'll
although we
walk in
might
on the
be-
road just to make sure, in case we miss something, it'll be more normal. But I
Yeah.
say we head to the post office first.
Okay.
Did either of you guys spot the post office on your way to the bar?
No, we saw the big church.
Okay, well,
How many spires did it have?
4.
Four spires.
Wow.
Spires.
That's a really big church. That
And,
borders on cathedral.
Let's see. We should just head to the church.
Think so?
How else are they going to hide your radio transmitters that they use to receive?
Make a
messages?
science roll.
oh, now that is a moderately clever idea. A moderately clever one.
That
Yeah.
could have been better, but oh, well.
He's a
It's still-
roll.
No, you don't want me to re-roll on that.
You
Just
minus
add
1.
two-
Okay,
add
use
two.
another fate
Add
point to get it a
two.
+2 then.
All right, I'll add 2. Brains over brawn.
And what does that come out to?
That comes out to fantastic.
Yeah, those 4 spires, they could actually be disguising
Yes,
4 radio
for
antennas.
radio antennas. Yes, yes, I caught that.
I didn't.
Which no doubt helps me make that roll. Annie thinks we should just head for the church because that's where the radio is.
Yeah,
on.
there's no other thing in town that's even close to
Close
tall
to-
enough.
big enough.
Uh-huh. Okay, well,
All right.
And the church is brand new and very
Works for me.
fancy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there
Make an academics roll. I mean, you saw the
Okay.
church.
I was gonna say, when we get to the front of the church, there's probably an established built whatever plaque in one of the corners.
Average.
or cornerstone
Okay,
or
well, that's
something.
not going to tell you how long the church has been there.
No.
Okay, one of us
So
take
like
a
for
Yes,
shot.
I'd be
cornerstone, something
wrong.
like that.
Can one of us take a shot at it?
Well, you have to actually get
Town.
close enough to the church.
Okay, well, we'll
I mean, you've seen it. You've seen, yes, there are 4 spires, but you haven't gotten really close
Right.
enough to do a good examination. You have to get into town.
so as we're walking along, and we get to where this barrier was,
Yes. Well, it's still
Is.
there.
It's
We're
still
invisible to it.
and we walk through it. You want me to do an alertness roll or something?
Sure.
If things work, there shouldn't be anything to detect by you. But okay.
Yes, everybody should make an alertness roll because you're going in as a group.
Yeah.
Yeah,
got that, I'm not
absolutely
gonna bother.
nothing.
I don't notice anything either that was mediocre.
I achieved
I
the
could-
core.
On the other hand, I could be investigating as I go in. which would be something
Actually,
else entirely.
on the mediocre alertness roll, you go, "What the fuck? Where'd he go?
Ah. Might make
Your companion's gone."
we need to back up a moment. I need to find out what happened with something.
Okay.
Yeah, back outside the barrier.
All right, so the whole group shuffles back
Yep,
outside.
yep, not breaking stealth. That's why.
Yeah, even at mediocre, you would notice that because he's
Um,
always there.
unless I send him
Send
to
him away,
watch something or do an errand. For him.
Anyway,
So
so
back outside the barrier,
Yep.
and so is he there again?
no,
Okay.
you have to actually, if he's
Right.
not with you, you have
Yeah.
to summon him,
Right.
right?
But I thought he might have just been stopped and he's right outside.
No, he's
Okay.
not. He was not standing right outside there.
Give me a moment more, guys. I stand still and breathe more evenly and concentrate.
You're not
and
feeling it.
actually call him now from outside the barrier.
Nope.
I think
Okay.
they
You need to
found-
put a little extra effort in, you think.
Like a fate.
A fate
Do I need to?
A fate point would do it.
Yeah. All right. Well then, this
You have to
would
read your
definitely
stunts.
be Priest of Mysteries of Egypt, since he's the
Well,
one who
he does.
initiated me as a priest.
I know the study. I mean, I don't know how to wrote it up. For.
Anyway, so once you've spent your fate point,
Yeah.
there he is again. And he looks very concerned.
Ask him what the defense measures were.
I
Somebody
yeah.
suggests.
I will silently say, tell me what happened as well as you can. That was unexpected.
I'm not sure. I went somewhere, but I was still kind of here. And it was very strange. It was daytime. But everything looked sort of soft. You guys, I didn't see you. I don't know where you were, but I was in Alice Springs.
Only it was daytime and
Daytime and everything sort of had a, like, I can't really describe
like it was fuzzy or blurry.
Yes.
Loosely speaking.
And I was there for, I don't know how long, I couldn't really tell, but it seemed like a long time.
I think.
And weird things happened. So I was looking around trying to find you guys, and this enormous, like, frog or toad sort of hopped up to me, and I could tell it was like it was talking to me, but it wasn't moving its lips, and it isn't like our communication is. And it said to me, "You do not belong here. Would you like me to send you to where you do belong?" And I didn't really think that was a good idea.
Because you didn't trust its opinion of where you belong.
Yeah. And he'll describe it. Let's see.
Something like a very large frog.
Like that, but it was about 3 feet across.
A sand frog. Interesting. Or similar, a vink.
So if anybody else wants to look at it, so it was like that.
That
Is that a
description would
native
probably
creature
mean
of
something to
Australia?
Rick. If it's a
Okay,
creature
make an
native-
academics roll.
May I
It's a
also-
very high bar for
Sure, everybody who has academics, Rick, you get a +2.
Oh, good. That's useful because now I have a score of +2.
And everybody else who doesn't have whatever, what is it, walk the walk,
Walk the walk.
gets a -2.
It's good.
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 much lower than that.
Average.
Wow, you must have rolled really badly.
Well,
Minus one.
-2.
-1 and then -2.
Yeah, okay. So, it's some sort of a desert frog. You know that. Everybody who got good.
Not
You're not really sure about the species.
Only huge.
Only, yes, there are no desert frogs who are actually 3 feet across. Anyway, so I told him no, or it. I can't really sex a frog or
Right,
toad.
sure.
Um,
Normally doesn't matter.
and he sort of hopped away. And then some amount of time passed. I really don't know how much time. And a dog-like creature. Oh, that's not the right tab. You stupid. What are you doing?
Got the frog, but got not the dog.
Yes, there we go. All right. So
Dingo.
he describes that.
Uh-huh.
And yes, you don't even need to roll.
Yeah.
It's a dingo.
It's a dingo.
Uh-huh. Go-
Trotted up and said, "You do not belong here. Do you want me to send you to where you do belong?" And once again, I'm like, well, you look a little bit more like what I would accept.
But I'm still not
I'm
sure.
still
I want
not
your
sure.
help.
I think where you want to send me is to the beyond, and that's not where I want to go. And he just sort of laid down and watched me.
Mhm.
And a bunch more time passed, and then I felt pulled. And now I'm here.
I think we need to leave him outside.
Rick,
this.
make another academics roll.
Yeah, we're definitely leaving them behind.
All right. Why are you taking a nap right now?
A fair shake of a sauce bottle.
He rolled -2, and his academics isn't very high.
Yeah.
+3. That's
Plus
much better.
three.
Plus
Plus 3.
much
That
better.
takes me up to good. Great.
Great.
With
That's
the
well beyond
local
what you need.
bonus?
Well, okay,
Good.
it's beyond what you need. Yeah. You're pretty sure he was in the dream time.
Yeah.
I was actually guessing it was something like that myself.
Which would
just by
explain
analogy.
why Annie wouldn't know.
Yeah, you have no idea what even that,
That
word
means.
means.
And it would explain
Oh
why
no, she probably has.
she's heard it.
She's probably heard the term.
It's,
as
see, the
being-
thing is, that's one of those things that she would block out of her memory.
There is that.
It is a
It's
cultural
history
thing.
stuff
It's,
that makes
it's
no
typical
sense.
among the Avos.
Yeah.
He says using the
Mhm.
derogatory term.
Yeah.
Very.
Anyway, so yeah, that's very much a description of the dream time.
He was dreamwalking.
Uh-huh. Which means that
Isn't that when they've had too much sun?
No.
eh,
The Aborigines go dreamwalk, basically to connect to the universe.
Okay.
so animals.
But yeah, the
spirits,
two encounters
ancestral
are both
spirits.
very much like what you've heard described. The general appearance of it's the same place but different
Mm-hmm.
is very much what you've heard
Or
described.
dream time.
Yeah.
Well,
and
okay.
the passage of time being very unclear is completely in character.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
And you,
Mhm.
but I don't think you,
Mhm.
but Jack and I also would have a chance to recognize it from having been there.
Mhm.
Ah, when
We did
You went to the dream time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Australian dream
Australian
time.
dream
Don
time.
was
Okay.
DMing
When-
when we were in Australia.
Yeah.
yeah,
All right.
we had an Australian adventure.
Well, then
some
yes,
time
you would
ago.
recognize it from
Yeah.
the
Okay.
description as being the dream time.
I'm going to take a little bit of overflow. It's kind of like those southwestern Indians with their peyote.
Mhm.
Okay.
Once again, that's something that
sounds-
is outside of your
I saw them do it.
Drug-induced hallucinations.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing real.
But once again, it's his
Actually-
imaginary friend who went there.
that makes it even
Altered-
better, right?
Altered states of consciousness is something science is aware of. It
Yeah.
just isn't repeatable.
Yeah. That's
It's
the
outside.
summary, actually.
Huh?
That's not science.
I agree. That's not science. You can't do it in a repeatable fashion. But we're aware there are ways to reach altered states of consciousness. It's just not something that we seem to be able to analyze with the scientific method.
As a passing thought, it would probably be more repeatable if one worked with precise doses of known chemicals. You know,
Let's,
extract
just-
or synthesize
just
an
leave-
active ingredient.
Let's just leave your companion behind. and
Oh
walk
yeah, I know.
inside.
I'm just
Well,
hey,
you're
I-
going to because he's not going back in there.
right. No,
He
I
doesn't belong there. He
and
agrees
he's
with
got
that.
science at average and is interested in how science and mysteries interact.
Yeah.
So that was
Well,
an idea for future thought.
how's your decoding skills?
What do you
Who's
do?
Decent.
decoding
Yeah,
skills?
decent sometimes, depending on what type of code.
Just an alien message.
Yeah, I could have a go at some point. You know, tell
it
me
was
what you know
definitely
so far.
veering in the wrong direction.
From your point of view, yes. Okay. Sometime when we're not busy.
Does this have
Okay.
anything to do with Sal?
No, it
No.
doesn't. We're
Okay.
digressing, admittedly.
Let's walk back
Right.
through the barrier and see
I
what
am going
happens.
to I'm going to ask my companion to simply patrol around the outside, and
Okay.
if he spots us coming out, go to us as quickly as possible. Which
That's
is
correct.
pretty much speed of thought usually.
I'm just okay. So if you summon him, you want him to come to you. Is that
No,
what
no, no,
If-
no. He wants him to meet us on the outside of the barrier.
Okay.
If
Wherever.
he sees us, or in fact, if he sees any of us who can detect him, me, Simon, or Jack, come out through the barrier, go and attempt to contact that
Okay.
person, which if it's me is trivially easy.
Yes. All right.
And but stay outside it. And we go back in. Yes.
All right.
Okay, that was weird and disconcerting.
Yes, I'm sure it was for your
A-
character. Yes.
a mode of defense I had not anticipated or
At
expected.
least now you know who's providing the defenses.
It gives us a good educated guess, yes, that at least one of the people he's working with is either an Aboriginal shaman or was trained by one.
Yeah. Or a tribe. Because it's a pretty big area.
Right, yes,
Yeah.
I mean, we're not necessarily dealing with only one person. I just said at least one of the mystery
So-
people involved.
When we get to this church, is it like a wall with a gate, or we just go right to the front door?
You can just go right to the front door. It is. I mean, there's.
Is it C of E or
Actually, it's a Catholic church.
Interesting.
I mean, Catholic. Well, it's not really as big as a cathedral, but it's Catholic.
Yes.
okay?
It's
So-
a
You can
big-
tell because it's got Latin on the door, or above the door.
Right.
Actually.
Okay.
Can
Is there some sort of
It's tattooed on the back.
cornerstone, plaque, whatever? When it was
Yes. Erected in 1902.
built? Okay.
So the spires might have been there all along and merely had radio antennas concealed in them later. when they
You're right there.
That's
You
true.
could start examining the
Sure.
building.
go around the
Investigate.
outside, especially
Investigate.
especially
Right,
look
engineer.
at the.
Okay, what is it you're asking again?
Engineering or
What skill would you
investigation?
use?
Well, I'm using
Investigation
My
will tell you
engineering is
approximate
mediocre.
times of how long the various things have been weathering.
Okay. And engineering would tell me, yeah, there's slight signs that they haven't. Okay.
Yeah, you can make engineering rolls as well.
Can be one of those nights.
Don't you always have one of those nights?
Well,
Tell you that
Oh,
my
okay.
engineering is
Why
very
did
good.
It's
you notice
infecting me
that?
too.
I'll take a couple of time increments as I'm looking.
Okay,
That
so
My base-
instead of about 15 seconds, you're going to take about 4 minutes.
yeah,
4 minutes.
I
is
figure
perfectly
they'll be
reasonable.
spending that amount of time anyways.
Yeah, I with no the Baypoint just canceled the -2 with no extra bonuses. It would be epic, but I could easily take 1 extra shift of time since other people are taking their time too. What do I think about has it been modified architecturally?
Not
New
since it was
construction.
erected in
Okay.
1902.
Okay. So if there are concealed radio antennas, it was a matter of carefully don't modify the outside when you're
So
Or
yeah.
Sal paid for the church to be built in 1902. How old is Sal?
124 years old.
At least. the okay, yeah, that he'd have to be working with somebody who's at least got weird science to do radio gear like that 22 years ago. The state of the art
Right.
has advanced in
It's I mean the state of the art is advanced, but,
But
the radio.
not antennas.
that's true.
The
Making
antenna-
a big antenna is
Yeah.
not that difficult to fix. Okay,
You would
sure.
upgrade the infrastructure connected to
Yes,
it.
the transceivers almost certainly have been upgraded, but you wouldn't notice
Okay.
that from looking at a building.
Well, then I would say the next thing
So-
to do is, does it have any doors other than the big front door? Yes.
Every church does.
Almost
Yeah,
all
I mean, there's
side doors on both
Yeah,
if you
that's what I'm
if you've
saying.
circumnavigated the
Mhm.
church,
Yep.
which takes a lot longer than 15 seconds. but
Right.
We'll say you did that anyway.
Sure.
Yes, there is a side door on the south. The front door faces west. There's also a back door on the east side.
Whichever of
The front door is much bigger than
Right.
the other two doors. The other two
Oh.
doors are basic.
of the back
Single
door
person
and
doors.
side door, whichever one is out of sight from more of the town,
The back door would be.
then I suggest we go in that one.
Yeah, I'll see if there's anything funny about it.
So my engineering check with the +2 from time became a great. That's how well I rolled.
Okay.
Well, I rolled fantastic. I wanted to see if I was trying to determine if the towers, if radio was added after the towers were built or if they were put together at the same time.
You would say at the same time there hasn't been enough modification to the towers for it
Okay.
to have been later.
So he's quite the planner.
So
So it would.
I guess on my burglary to see if there's anything there. No, investigation, right? To see if there's a trap. Or,
We've
or
been
engineering.
using engineering.
Engineering?
yeah, I use engineering for traps.
I would have taken extra time just to make sure. One extra time you want it done.
Yes, there is an alarm on this door, which is a little unusual for
For
a
a church
church
in a small town.
in a
the
small
outback.
town.
Wait a minute, this is Sal's headquarters, so I'm expecting
Yeah,
more.
well, that's.
I'm sorry, there's not
Let's
too-
say that's a fairly convincing bit of additional evidence, and I did if it's just a mysteries check, it's epic. If I can do mysteries aided by investigation, it's legendary, or traps on the door that Jack wouldn't spot with engineering.
So using epic.
Epic if it's just straight mysteries.
Legendary if you can get
Aided
mysteries
by-
aided by investigation.
Yeah, there is something unusual in a mystery sense about this door.
Simon.
And yes, you found, as I said, you found an alarm. It was not easy to detect. It's like a great alarm.
Jack suggests you hold off on doing anything for a moment. Simon, there's something mysteries that I can't get details on. It's some sort of trap or detection thing or something.
Now we know what the field does.
Yes! It sucks all the luck out of the dice.
It's a mystery.
You were doing a real weak, you know that? He does the same thing. He makes everyone on the table roll wall. And just him.
Well, that made it better.
Yeah.
Made it less bad, in other words.
Well, it's now up to a wash.
Yeah.
Well, the tone
better than a minus
of your voice indicated that. See?
Protect his friends. Will get me to awe-inspired.
Yeah, so don't go through that doorway. Because something will happen. It will almost certainly set off some sort of mystical alarm, and you're pretty sure some sort of defense will trigger as well.
Okay.
Mystical defense.
So let's go check the other doors.
Yeah.
Well, let's go check the. Well, yes, let's go check both other doors.
Okay.
Why don't we check a window on the second floor?
Because he's paranoid.
That could be.
Is there a second floor on a church?
Well,
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
big. Yes.
There are windows above the first floor. Let's put
Okay.
it that way.
But they're all, I mean, the windows are like this narrow.
interesting. Do they have stained glass in them?
Sort of Gothic architecture.
Yeah, it's kind of a Gothic sort of
Uh-huh.
architecture.
Okay, we'll go with the side door next.
The side door, make rolls.
Oh, let's leave the mysteries detection assignment. I got what he wants.
Legendary.
Yes, there is something mystically protecting this door.
Does it look as nasty as the back door?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it's go to the front door.
Great for the engineering, but
Yeah, and there is another alarm on the side door as well, which is of great quality.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty
Fantastic
safe
for,
bet. We-
Mundane alarm on the front door.
fantastic for engineering on the front door.
Protect his friends. Legendary for the mysteries check.
The front door has the alarm function, but not the defense function.
Okay.
And yes, the front door also has an alarm on it, an engineering sort of alarm of great quality.
which, must be
It would be
switched
bad to
off.
have someone actually come in for services and be eaten by a group.
Yeah. Well,
Yes, but there must be some way to come in the other doors.
Yeah, but it may take there's only 2 of them or there's only 3 of them key that we have trouble counterfeiting.
Yeah, Simon didn't really get enough information to say this is how you get past it without triggering it.
Yeah.
Well, it's about what, 2 o'clock in the morning now.
1, 2,
1 o'clock
Sure.
in the
Yes,
morning?
you've walked 2 miles away and 2 miles back, and have toured around a church.
Hang out and
In
wait
about
till
4
people
hours,
are
mass
going
will
in
start.
for services.
Yeah, early mass. Yeah.
Early mass. 6
We could
o'clock
do
mass.
that.
They'll unlock the door about 5
We
p.m.
could do that. That might be sufficiently a sufficiently unexpected tactic to be useful.
Except that will stand out like a sore thumb.
Oh, sure.
And
we'll
won't be
be.
night anymore.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, if you're all still hushed, you won't stand out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, true.
Though if you were using the bonus of darkness for your stealth,
I was.
then it would drop.
Too
Obviously.
awe-inspiring.
Yeah.
Which is, certainly none of the ordinary
Yes, none of the
churchgoers
none of the
would
townspeople
with awe-inspiring
would
stealth.
notice you. And if there are any minions among them, unless they're grouped up as like a group of 10 and
They-
looking for you,
Probably bypass the alarm and then
Mm.
find the next thing that prevents us from going forward because this guy believes in redundancy.
No kidding.
Why don't I just start slowly
Defense.
ripping a hole in the wall?
Good
well, let me look at let's find a
patch of bare wall.
patch of bare wall and take a look at that.
okie dokie.
Preferably in the back.
Well, yeah. Look for the most.
Awe-inspiring.
There doesn't seem to be anything embedded in the wall or on the surface of the wall.
Okay.
Okay.
I like
The alarms?
disassembling a stretch of wall better than I like waiting and going to church.
Check. Well, he's checking the wall. I'm going to check the nearest window because it strikes me that windows tend to have vibration alarms, and if they're set wrong and you crush through a wall, it may go off.
Okay, so you examine one of the windows. The glass in it is like that thick.
Wow.
And it seems like it's not normal glass. Make
Okay.
a science roll.
Silence the heck out of it.
I bet it's bulletproof.
Not like that.
-3 again.
No, it's only
No,
a
it's only
minus
-2.
Oh,
I
There's a
had
plus there.
it's a little hard to see the color in that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
Yeah, it
give,
says so
give me
much
those
better.
specifications again.
Like me rolling a
Ah,
thumb.
it's still a -2.
I hate it when that happens.
Well,
Give me a moment.
You're rolling 3s, just like I was.
Is that one of your aspects?
Yes,
Give
it
me a
is.
moment. No, it isn't.
It's somebody's. It's somebody's.
It should be one of yours.
I have a theory. I mean, I did start this all off with a theory.
yeah.
Ah, there we go. I'll take that roll.
That's a +3.
That's a +3.
All right. Yeah, bulletproof.
And
I think we're at the right
possibly other
place.
property.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
it
what
looks like it would be
obvious.
difficult to break this glass. Not just because it's very thick,
It's what it's made of.
but it's not normal glass.
So I'm gonna
Jack could do it.
Oh.
He could punch his way through.
I'm sorry. I should have said that it was awe-inspiring because, well, that's in organic chemistry.
Yeah.
Yes, you're
Yes.
correct. Yeah, I mean, Jack. A punch from Jack could
Break
bust
it.
through this window.
Is there any signs of an vibration alarm on it?
No.
No. Okay.
Okay, good. He
So-
found a
well-
small chink in his paranoia.
Not that I can detect from here.
That is
And
correct.
no.
And it would be hard to get through this window because it's narrow and has a big, thick,
Very thick
slab of
granite.
glass in there that is difficult to break. But once again,
So-
Jack could punch through.
The,
Like-
the likelihood of a vibration detector on the glass is small.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's thinking no one's going through that window.
Yep. Okay.
So,
Go ahead
yeah.
and go through the wall if you wish to.
I'll just go to the long real slowly.
Make a couple of rolls.
I'm going to do an engineering just to make sure that there doesn't appear to be any power in the area he's going to do.
Ah,
Basically.
right. Like, are there live wires just behind
Is
those
there-
Science
sidings or
roll.
something?
Is
Yeah.
there current here? That would be
Fantastic. I think.
fantastic. Yes. 'Cause it's science.
Jack, don't do that.
Okay.
So she gets to you before you actually start destroying the wall.
Mhm.
There's something embedded in this wall
Okay.
that's got current.
Wow.
It's very low level,
But
so it's probably not there to kill
it's
anyone.
not
anyone.
electrocution.
How about the window?
the window is bulletproof glass. I'll
Considerable.
I will
thickness, yeah.
check around it. Another science roll or
Yeah, I mean, if you're detecting around the window,
yeah, that'd be one above superb. So fantastic.
yeah, basically the wall has some sort of like mesh,
They
Okay.
have a whole. They
but
have
not in the window
They-
because you would be able to see it if it was in the window.
Yeah,
So the
they
window's how
have-
big? It's
It's about that wide.
that tall.
Have they got basically a Faraday cage operation?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay, but I can see through the window, right?
Yes, you can.
And I can see inside, right?
Yes,
Well, that's all I need.
that is all you need.
All right, we're going inside.
Okie dokie.
Now, remember, there might be traps in the pressure plates in the floor.
Yeah, there might.
Is there
So,
some particular? I mean, there's pews and kneeling bars, and there's a place up front for the actual.
I would honestly say the central aisle can't really have that much because people have to walk up and down. it.
Absolutely, you're correct.
seems
So
like my
central
best-
aisle.
Central Island is.
Okay.
Okay, we're there.
And I am going to call it for the night.
I was expecting that because of the time,
Yeah.
but it is.
I don't want to
also-
go. Yeah.
It's also an excellent cliffhanger. So I am down to 29.
And if we start talking to a giant frog, I'm going to be a little pissed.
Don't
Did
worry,
Jamie spend any?
1.
I do not intend to talk to a giant frog.
If you see
Jack?
a giant frog,
use
you will
it.
just shut your eyes and say you're not there, go away.
It's not
Rick?
impossible for a giant frog to
35.
exist.
It isn't.
It's not like it's.
Yes, but if it talks to Annie,
Then she's going to go, I must be hallucinating.
yeah.
So why should I reply to the giant frog? Now, if it looked like some sort of alien being,
that would be different.
that would be different.
totally reasonable.
33. Which, considering what I was rolling light, could have been worse.
Thank you, everybody who is here for the stream.
Yes.
And have a good night.
My father could have